Hey, Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome to Old World. Now, unfortunately, I do not have time to do a full playthrough of Old World, but I did want to make a video highlighting that the Wrath of Gods DLC has come out today. By the time you see this video, I did get access, thanks to the developers. They gave me a key, and I've tried it out a little bit. I haven't had much time to sink my teeth into it, but I did just want to let you guys know, right? There's some of you guys, you might not have heard about this, but it should be unlocked by the time this video releases. It'll be linked in the description. It's a very, very cool expansion. It's going to add 9 calamities, a new scenario, 200 new events tied to calamities and their events, 26 new projects, 8 new character traits, plenty of new missions, and 2 new map scripts, one of which I actually like a lot, and they're also adding a new faction, the Axum. So if you are already a fan of Old World and you didn't hear about the new DLC coming out, go check that out. If you aren't a fan of Old World already, let me try to convert you to being a fan of Old World, because I think this is a fantastic game that really deserves to be successful, because it is a 4X game, right? It's a Civilization style game designed by somebody who not only really understands 4X games and Civilization games, but has the skill to bring that vision to life in a way that as you continue to play, things just make more and more sense. So, first of all, look at this main menu screen. It is gorgeous. I remember playing this game before it had come out, when it was called 10 Crowns or something. I think it was the working title. And man, like yes, it's sort of an indie 4X game, but man, the level of polish this game has, right? You've got so many options. Like, I'm talking, like, this game is like every time a new patch comes out, community requested options are added, right? You've got accessibility, you can fully rebindable keys, all this sort of, everything you want in the game is there. Now, it took a while to get all this stuff in the game, right? There were some teething problems, but you don't have to worry about that because the game's out. They've already done all the work. You've got scenarios that you can play. You've got learn to play, learn by playing, world maps. You've got all crazy. You've got like the Wrath of Gods. You've got a single player, multiplayer. There's so much going on in here, right? This game has literally thousands of hours of content, and I want to just point that out to you because it's $40 and you or €40, $40, whatever, and you could spend thousands of hours. You don't even have to buy the DLC at first. Literally, if the game's not on sale when you see this, and this is too rich for your blood, wait a little bit. It'll be on sale. Wishlist it, all right, and then buy it when it's on sale. This is one of the games that I highly recommend. I was not sponsored to play this video. I just really like the game. It's an amazing competitive multiplayer experience. There's so much that we're going to talk about. You've got Game of the Week, where they set up a sort of setting that you know, this is like community game settings. You try this out, and how do you feel about it? But I'm going to go ahead and start a new game here. And we're going to be playing the new faction Axum. So the really interesting thing about Old World is that it's a little bit like Crusader Kings, right? In the sense that very much so, a lot of your gameplay is focused around characters. So you can see here, when I choose Axum, this faction over here, I actually have 5 possible leaders of this faction to play around with, right? You've got Caleb here, who is a commander. He's a pious commander. And then you've got Azana here, who's an evangelist zealot. You've got Gudid, who's like a ruthless hero. Makeda, who's a cunning envoy. And Gadarat, who is a subjugator warlike tactician. Each of these abilities actually significantly changes, each of these leaders and their abilities will actually significantly have large impacts on the gameplay. Now, the biggest impact is going to come from their class, okay? This is their archetype. So the commander archetype is really good at acting as a general, right? You've got units get extra combat strength, they do extra flanking. If you are the leader of your faction, your units will generate experience for being idle. If they're chillin', and infantry units have +10 defense, you also get courage and discipline, which matters. But then it also has a whole bunch of opinion effects. Everything in this game what I love about Old World is that it's an incredibly complex interplay of mechanics and ideas and concepts that you can play by vibes. You can 100% play this game by vibes, and you don't even have to like interact with the deep meaning. It's all happening in the background, but you can dig into it if you want to. You're allowed to approach the depth and complexity of this game at your own pace. You're allowed to, like, there's literally an option here called role playing. Like, if you just want to play by vibes and not know what the consequences of a lot of your decisions are, it's here somewhere. Yeah, role playing. You can turn this on, and you just the numbers are pushed even further back to the game, and you just focus on the vibes, right? It is a beautiful intricate dance of a game. And also, here's what I recommend. Load up a game, play about 100 turns-ish, and if you're not having fun, every time you learn something that makes you want to restart a game, okay? Start over. Every time you learn something new about the game. And then also, 2 things. Every time you learn something new about the game that makes you want to start over. And every time you're not having fun, try to figure out why and start over. This game has so many options. I can choose the number of opponents, I can choose how aggressive they are, I can choose how much of an advantage they have, I can choose how strong their starting position is, so I could say they have no advantage, but they start off in a really strong position. Or I could say they have a huge advantage, but we start off in an equal position, right? There is so much potential here. I want to be very clear. Each one of these options significantly changes the way that you play the game. And that is something that it was really common in older Civilization games, actually. And this is a little, I'm going to use this as a moment to criticize Civilization a little bit. I feel like we used to have so many more cool options. Like you go back to Civ 4, you used to have all these toggles and switches and stuff that you could flick on and off to change how the game played. And Old World is very much so that kind of game. It gives you all the changes. You could make your own custom game. Now, I have a game set up here. You've also got the simple setup here. So I've chosen the hardest difficulty. We're doing a random map, and I've chosen the Tumbling Mountain map because this is actually one of the newer maps in this DLC, and it's really exciting and cool. And I'm playing on a huge map. You can play on whatever size map you want. I don't mind. I like big maps. Big maps are kind of fun to me. But maybe you want to play on a medium. Maybe medium's the way to play. I don't know. I've always liked the big epic scale of games, stuff like that. And then you've also got this option preset here. It's like, oh, here's your introductory game. Here's a role-playing game. Here's a long-lived characters game. One city challenge in competitive mode, chess mode, punishing. You've got a completely random mode. Really, really cool stuff. You've also got then this, you could just choose your basic setup and then go in and tweak the exact things that you want to change. So for example, if I go down to the map here, I could say, for example, the unique thing about the Tumbling Mountains is that each player will be given a sort of safe area in which they can set up their empire, and then after a specified number of turns, 60, 80, or 100, those mountains will crumble and the sort of Thunderdome will open. And I really like this map. I'm kind of intrigued by the idea of a gradual change. There's also a no nation combat option here if you want to just always have, if you want to basically have an economic game where you race the AI to the victory condition. I don't recommend this because here's the thing. I don't recommend this, but the developers put it in there for you. Even though it's not the correct way to play the game, because Old World is fundamentally a war game. It's a competitive war game against the AI, and the AI is pretty damn good at the war. But I'm going to try out Gradual. Gradual sounds interesting. I like that a few each turn will tumble, opening up the map slowly over time. Also, honestly, what really appeals to me is going for that long. All right? 100 turns of just me chilling, building up my empire before I got to compete with the AI. That appeals to me as a gamer. I'm like, yeah, give me some time. This is no rush 20 minutes. When you're playing Age of Empires back in, Voobly or whatever in 2000 and, yonder. Let's play with Gradual though. That sounds kind of fun. I like the idea of them slowly crumbling away. And I have super basic setup here. Let's just go ahead and jump in and we can start talking about the actual gameplay. So Old World is largely driven through its narrative event system. Now, if you are familiar with me and my content, I am not a big fan of narrative event systems, but Old World sort of pierces through that veil because the game is designed around this. It is one of the key features of the game, and it really makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, let's found our capital. Now, the very first decision you're going to make, as with a lot of 4X games, is where are you going to put your city? You've got our little settler unit. You've got city sites. Now, one of the things that I like about Old World that kind of differentiates it from a lot of other 4X games is that you cannot settle cities anywhere. There are specific portions of the map that set aside city sites. And if you're familiar with Space 4X games, this is actually how Space 4X games work, right? There are locations in the sort of 4X space map, right? If you're playing Master of Orion, you can't settle in the middle of nowhere. You got to settle somewhere that's appropriate. And in this game, it's kind of similar. You get to choose the tile that you put your city center. And the thing that I love about Old World is I could just plonk my city down right here. And I don't even have to read these tooltips. I could just be I can read the tooltips and do the calculations for myself, or I could just hover over this question mark and it's like, champions are good at military. Cool, I want those. Boom, click, vibes played, right? Or I can hover over this tooltip and be like, okay, Aga is a champion family, okay? Now they have preferences for me having a big military. They have they don't like it if they don't have wine and dies. They love citadels. They like the volunteers law. They give extra military. They give extra training. Ooh, what's training? Hover over that. And this is used for all these. I like the tool tipping system in this game is just incredible that it's like the Wikipedia for the game is literally built into the gameplay, because I could just be like, wait a minute, what does it mean? What is a family seat? I hover over this, right? I hover over the I middle click, boom, and you could customize this, by the way. I have this customized to where you could do it where you just do it on hover, and that locks the tooltip, so I can kind of go like, okay, so what's going over here? So I can compare these two things. Like, let's say I wanted to compare the champions with the patrons. I'd be like, okay, champions and patrons. I can be like, okay, so champions get 2 per year. These get 2 per year. This is blah, 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 blah. Right, you could just, the UI, once you start to learn to navigate the UI, you start to be able to process the data, and it feels incredible. So, one of the things I love about this game is, like, right from the get-go, the game presents you with 2 incredibly significant choices that have a ripple of effects down the line in the gameplay. And another thing that I love about this game, by the way, is that if you look carefully, like, you see this fog of war? I can see the peaks of the mountains coming up through the fog of war, because of course that makes sense. Of course I can see mountains off in the distance, right? Like, this is the extent of what my empire... I'm not going to step forward a tile and there's going to be a mountain here. No, I'm going to be able to see that shit for miles away. I love that. And so this is the mountain ridge that divides me from other players. You can see this mountain ridge running down along here. So I know that probably scouting in this direction, it's not going to have that much. But anyway, yeah. So the game presents you with 2 like really awesome choices, like right from the first blush. The first choice is, where do I actually settle my city, right? Because I've got 5 viable tiles. And you can see, depending on where I move my mouse, it's going to change the shape of my initial borders. You can kind of see. Now, personally, I happen to know that this marble resource is absolutely poggers because it provides civics, and civics are awesome for a whole variety of reasons. So marble is sick. Sheep are kind of awesome too. We do have this, here it is. You've got a whole bunch of like mini-map options. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. You can show the zone of control overlay. You can show the danger overlay. You can show the promotions and idle units overlay, right? And you can hold shift to lock it. You can also press, I think, V to toggle it, to hold it. Or I can press Shift V to toggle it on and off. Boom, boom, boom. The same with, like, here's my trade network. Here's roads and rivers. Rivers act as roads in this game. Here's your urban improvements. You've got a current yields. I wish that the resources and urban improvements overlay was separate, because sometimes I like to just see the resources. But yeah, so do I want to settle centrally? Do I want to move? Personally, I think moving towards these 2 marble is like absolutely goated. And now the question is, right, so like, okay, so I've decided maybe I want to settle here. Which family do I have? But also, here's the best part of Old World. I'm like, you know what, actually, I don't think that decision was good, and I don't want to spend an order, which is the thing that you use. It's a currency that minimizes the number of actions you can take per turn. And I'm just going to be like, you know what, I want to undo that, because I want to think about that more. In fact, you could go through an entire turn, realize that you made a fundamental mistake in your analysis of what your strategy for that turn was, and you could hold down Shift or Control, and then you click this, and it brings you back to the start of the turn. It's so incredible. And if you want the game to be harder, you can disable that. So your capital city is unique because it gets culture and extra gold. And also, I believe whichever city you settle as your capital, depending on which of these families, of which you can only ever have 3 of these families, that will be the family of your ruling leader. This guy, Caleb here. So if I choose champions, this guy will be a champion. Now, I'm a big fan of the champions because they have that beautiful extra training, which is what you use to train military units and also to upgrade military units. There's a very interesting interplay between resources and all this sort of stuff. So like the traders here really like to be coastal because they get that nets output. But the really nice thing is the family seat gives us the ability to do a caravans, but we're not really going to need to trade. What if I went for the patrons? Okay, so the patrons would give us extra civics. Now we could even reinforce the ability to get civics with these marbles here. Maybe we should go in the patron direction because we would get a literature luxury. We would get extra culture from precious resources. I don't see precious resources near this city, right? Gems, gold, and silver and pearls are precious resources. What if we went with the champions? Anyway, the point is, Each of these decisions is meaningful. I'm a big fan of the Champions First because it gives you that +2 training per year and a 50% boost to the training in this city, because the first city that you settle for a particular family is the family seat that gets a unique bonus. And we gain a militia, which allows us to protect our empire a little bit easier. But most importantly, new units trained in this city will have +25 combat strength against tribal units. And tribal units are going to be the stuff that we fight early game. Think of the tribal units are like your barbarians, right? So I'm going to move one tile to the right. I'm going to settle the champions, and boom, there's our capital city. Now, your capital city is unique for a couple of reasons. It starts with a garrison, and the garrison is a interesting improvement because it gives you more orders, right? So I'm getting 0.5 extra orders per year, and 0.5 extra orders per year is really nice. Basically, it allows me to move a unit one extra time. So you can see here, I could move this unit all the way here for 3 orders, and I have 6. So that would use half my orders for the turn. So you're constantly trying to balance, like, okay, what actions are really important to me? And one of the very first actions that I recommend is actually putting a governor in charge of your capital city. You can see here this little circle here. Because I have a garrison, I can assign a governor. Now I can put the Queen Consort in here. King Caleb could also function really well as a commander for a military unit. So maybe I want to put the Queen Consort here. Now, he does also have some really nice abilities, right? He has the ability to give the city extra growth. I'm actually not sure where that is coming from. Anyway, your leaders have stats. They can level up from running a city. You can see here you'll get 4 experience per year. He can also level up from fighting in charge of a slinger. This is an expensive action, but I'm going to put my leader in charge of the city. He's 22 years of age, so he'll probably happily sit there for about 40 turns. So now he's in charge of the city and he's providing bonuses. You can see here he's providing a 6% boost to the city civics outpost because he has 1 charisma, a 12% boost to the city's training output because he has 2 courage, and a 12% boost to the city's gold output because he has 2 discipline. Unlike in other games, in Old World, you do not have a production resource. There are 3 production resources: growth, trading, and civics. Growth is used to train civilian units, okay? You've got things like settlers, workers, scouts, militia. Training is used to train military units. Slingers are unique units, the Dumit Warrior and the Shotelai. These are our 2 unique units. Every faction has 2 unique units the DMT will upgrade into the Shotelai. The Dumit Warrior has 6 combat strength, 2 movement. It can zone of control, it can fortify, it has the disarm ability, which lowers enemies' combat strength for 20%. It has steadfast. It uses up some resources, but it's a really strong military unit. In Old World, you start off with a settler in production queue because typically there will be a city location available for you pretty nearby your capital. And so for the sake of potentially finding that, I'm going to bring my scout here and step up onto this hill because I actually do want to scout over here because the city might be down there. Right, that was all of my moves. And I can be like, oh, wait, I shouldn't have used all those moves. Let me backtrack. Whoops. Because what I really wanted to do was to use my worker. Now, some people say you shouldn't do that, but I actually don't have any resources to build tile improvements, so I'm just going to go ahead and repeat those scout moves. I just wanted to show you that you can, like, if you make a mistake, you can totally undo it. The city side is to the north, I see. So we're going to want to get up here and settle the city. I forgot that they revealed that to you. Neat. So we're going to choose our research here. There is a tech tree. It is extensive. It is big. And the really nice thing about Old World is that they do technology as a sort of technology draw pile, right? So you have here a discard pile of technologies that will not appear in your next tech choice, and then an available pile that you can choose. So I can either get ironworking, stone cutting, or divination. Quarries, probably one of the most important resource buildings in the entire game. I'm going to get stone cutting. Super important. Think of stone cutting as like your fundamental urban resource. It's what like fuels your economy in these urban settlements. All right, let's finish our turn up. And my wife has given birth to a son, Duke Angabo. He's got one notable event, and he's pretty cautious of me. I mean, considering he's a 0-age baby, I think that makes sense that he would be cautious of me, a 20-something-year-old man who's ruling a city and an empire. Okay, I don't think there's anything down here to the southeast. So that's fine. Some interesting and unique things that your scouts can do is they can actually harvest resources. So if there's some good resources nearby, for example, maybe you want early culture, maybe you want early gold, you can actually step your scouts onto them and harvest them. I'm not a big fan of harvesting, but I do want to get my scout up here to the city site so I can see good stuff. Now, with this worker, I'm thinking it could be good to start setting up a little bit of food income along this river to the west. Rivers give bonus food production. Yeah, they get a 20% boost from fresh water. Now that does take some wood, but I think it's worth it. All right, so I'll move my worker over here. And I can't actually build this farm because I have no wood. But the beautiful thing about this game is I can hold down Alt and buy it if I have enough resources. So let me go ahead and sell just enough food to where I can hold down Alt and purchase a farm. See here, it'll take 80 gold. It'll take 3 years to build using 1 order per turn. And it'll start giving me 6 food per turn. Boom. Shabam. Food on the way. And then I'm going to use my my last order in the turn to add a general to the slinger here. Oligarch Saizana the Younger, who is a hero, so he's good at fighting in neutral territory because he can heal in neutral territory. That's fantastic. And this slinger will be used to clear the first camp that we discover. All right, scout, keep on scouting. Do we want that 10 culture? Is 10 culture worth an order? It could be. It could also be worth to start moving our scout. Like, this is the interesting thing about this game. You're always thinking about, oh God, what should I do next? I'm going to move my slinger out to the left here because I have a militia to protect the city. So I'm going to start moving my slinger out this way. So when we do know what's going on over here, we can maybe do some more stuff. And you always want to end your turn, or at least you always want to step onto a hill because hills give you a vision boost, which is really great. You can see quite a bit of knowledge around here. Discovering resources gets you bonuses. However, military units are not very good at scouting. I'm going to show that off right now. You can see that. See how far the scout sees and see how not far the slinger sees. So you definitely don't want to be scouting with military units if you can avoid it. It might actually be better just to not use these orders because orders are converted into gold at the end of the turn, which I could buy resources with. So there is our settler. We'll be able to make it over to this city site. I'm going to go ahead and run this way as fast as I can. Perfect. It'll use 3 orders. I can force march this unit by holding down control, I believe, and then right clicking again, but I don't have enough orders to do that, and orders are quite precious early game. I'm going to cross this river. No, I'm going to save these orders because early game scouting is extremely valuable. And in fact, we found ancient ruins. Now, ancient ruins are quite unique in that you can usually find a really nice bonus on it. So for example, my king can now become gracious, which is a trait that will give him +2 charisma, which will boost our global civics amount and the amount that Agilis is making. I can gain legitimacy. Legitimacy is one of your most important resources in the entire game because higher legitimacy improves the opinion of the families in your country. Let's see, where's the family thing here? That's spouse, cities, tribes, families here. Families like you more, the higher your legitimacy is. The more a family likes you, the less bad things will happen. The less a family likes you, the more bad things will happen. So legitimacy is legitimately really damn good. Also, 50 science right now with finished stone-cutting. That's quite strong. I do like getting my leaders extra traits. It's really strong. That'll be like a really sick boost to our civics income early into the game. All right, we found some wine. Very nice. Agilis can now produce. I could get myself a second scout. I do think a second scout is not a terrible decision. I could also build this farmer on this farm right here. So there's 2 sort of layers to a tile. There's the improvement on the tile, and then there's the specialist on the tile. Specialists are like built. You can see here, if I built a farmer specialist on this farm tile, I would get +1 growth per turn. Growth is used to recruit civilians as well as grow the city's population. You can only do one, you can't do both at the same time. I would also get more science and more food, and it would spread our borders. You can see if I hover over the farmer, you can kind of see the borders become kind of like pink, because that's saying, hey, if you did this, the borders would grow. I'm a big fan of a couple of early scouts. Like I think getting at least 2 scouts. You tend to get scouts from events as well, but I like 2 scouts. We're using up our orders. A lot of your orders early game are going to be based on moving your scouts around. So let's step you here. We found some barbarians, so let's make sure we explore the fog of war so I can get my scout up over here, or rather my slinger up over here. I have a settler here. I'm going to buy an extra order with training so I can get up onto the city tile and settle it pretty quickly next turn. We'll go to the next turn. So we're preparing to assault this barbarian tile here where we'll be able to get an extra settler down. Let's make sure we're doing our actions. I could found another champion city, but that has some downsides because the other sort of noble families expect me to settle a city for them, to dedicate a city to their families. And they reward me with legitimacy, and if I don't do it, I'll get more discontent. Higher levels of discontent are bad. I don't see luxury resources around here, but the patrons do add a luxury. So let's found the patrons. Luxury resources are nice. So now I'm now known as Caleb the Settler, so I get a 20% legitimacy boost. You gain the Settler cognomen if you have made 2,000 cognomen progress from settling cities. The cognomen is basically like how much of a badass you are. We gain a new court minister from founding that seat. She is Aswina Ausina, the minister, and she's really good at generating science and civics. Awesome. She joins the court. So now if I go to my court, you can see here my court here. She's a member of my court. I can influence her. I can give her jobs. I can get her to tutor my children. When the children are age 10, you can tutor them. We've got like a really nice... Also, look at this. Buy beans. I can set a custom reminder for myself in the game. Isn't that incredible? So the question is, do I want to send the luxury resource to my capital city, right? Which will give it extra culture, extra happiness. You can see here, higher levels of discontent will lower the opinion of the family that run the city. It'll lower your science output and increase your maintenance cost. So do I want to put the literature in my capital city, or do I want to put it in here to gain a slight boost to culture, right? It's worth 2 culture per turn to put a luxury in here. Culture events are really strong, really useful. I'm going to put it in my capital because I like having a strong capital. That'll have the time it'll take for us to get a culture event in there. And I'm going to prioritize now clearing this barb camp. So I'm going to start bopping this guy with Oligarch Saizana. Sabat can choose production. A really good starting production is almost always a worker or a militia to protect the city from rebellion. Either of these are decent choices, depending on how much risk you think you're facing. I think this early we can get away with a worker. Yeah, let's go to the next turn. So they're counterattacking now. Prince Gabra Mascal, my heir, is now old enough to be tutored by courtiers. And we just got a courtier, right? Now, I can also choose the education direction of my prince. He has nothing notable. He's a 10-year-old boy. There's nothing notable about him right now. I can say he can be a student of one of the 4 different schools. You've got science, philosophy, you've got politics, diplomacy, you've got tactics and warfare, and you've got commerce and trade, right? You've got this. These are the 4 schools. Or I can say, hey, listen, buddy, you're going to go out into the world and learn how to be a dude in the great world. He will get unique events while exploring the world. Like he can come back with a wife from a tribe. He can come back. He might not come back. And after 5 years, he will level up. With my heir, I'm thinking, daddy was a commander, and I expect my son to follow in my footsteps. So I'm gonna make him study tactics. Now we've got family ambitions here. These are your part of your victory condition. They're also really important for developing legitimacy. So you can see here, support barriers and control 6 quarries, or can support agas and control 6 mines. I like quarries more, plus I have 2 quarryable resources. So if I do all of these, I will gain a plus 10 legitimacy bonus. Legitimacy, again, plus 10 legitimacy is like having plus 1 orders per turn. Let's keep slamming the guy in the city, because what we want to do is we want to kill the person in the city so that we can claim that tile and prevent them from continuing to develop. You can see here, they're going to produce a new unit in 5 turns, and we don't want that, so we want to kill them as fast as possible. Okay, I have a worker over here. I'm going to cross the river and build a new farm. There are some scrubs here that I have to cut first, but if I just click the farm, they'll clear it off anyway. And now we have some orders left over to continue exploring. One of the unique things about scouts is that they are hidden if they are standing in force. You can see that hidden unit. They cannot be seen unless they attack. So my unit's taking a little bit of damage here. Duke Israel is now old enough to be tutored by courtiers. Awesome. My second son, you can go learn out into the world, buddy. Off you go. You're going exploring. Also, my prince here, I'm going to tutor him. So it'll take 3 years for this to finish, and he will have a whatever 100% minus 28% is to just improve one of his stats, or he'll get an event where he'll potentially get a bonus. It does cost 200 gold and 2 orders, but remember, this is my heir. I'm going to play as him, and his stats right now do actually contribute to my empire. So spending a little bit of money on this guy kind of makes sense. So I'm going to do that. Right, I'm going to attack this. And one of the things I like about Old World is when you're attacking a barbarian encampment with a ranged unit in melee, the ranged unit will act like a melee unit and actually claim the city side tile. So that's one of the things I like about that. That'll clear that out. This guy's almost ready to level up. I do have a militia here. Not planning to use them. Let's keep on scouting. This is difficult terrain to scout right now. So studying the Caspian Hyrcanian forest, my son we have discovered a landmark which has triggered an event with my son. I can give my son charisma and lose discipline. I can get him to have some science at the cost of training, or I can make him like me at the cost of civics. I'm going to give him a little bit of science. That little bit of trickle of science. Science is hard to come by early in the game, man. So if my son's generating a little bit of extra science, hell yeah. Ooh, look at all that furs we found. That's really good for these are luxuries, I believe. So it's going to be great if we can get those. All right, so the world is coming together. I got another scout on the way. Oligarch Saizana has become proud, which will make this slinger good at attacking. I can spend 70 stone to make plans for the floods. Unfortunately, I can't afford this right now, so I'm just going to take the experience. Would love to have built those flood defenses, but that is not a thing. My boy, my heir has been sneaking off into the woods, so I can make him fierce, I can make him a Highlander, or I can make him a Ranger. I'm going to make him fierce. Fierce sounds like fun. Probably has a lot of really cool events associated with it. Now, let's keep on clearing these tribal units away. Okay, Agilis. I would love to build another settler. Can't quite afford it, so I'm going to go for another worker first, because I would love to get settling this, but I just can't afford it at this moment. So we'll quickly grab ourselves another worker. We've got lots of tiles to improve. We want to be building roads between our cities, all that sort of stuff. Now, I'm going to move this scout first before I move you. So we have met the Scythians. Now the Scythians are scary because they're a horse people. So we can declare war on them. I get 6 legitimacy, which is nice for the rest of the game. We can maintain a truce, or we can try to get an alliance with them. Oh, actually, no, we could just get training because my guy is martial, warlike, or strict. Awesome. Let's not quarrel with them initially. It can be worth it to declare war on the tribes. Generally speaking, on the higher difficulties, and we are playing on the highest difficulty, you're going to want to kind of lean into diplomacy a little bit. It has been my experience. So another attack and we'll clear this guy out. Worker, you've been doing a great job. I'm going to move you over to this marble in preparation of building that next turn. Step you up here, go to the edge of the fog, step you up here. Nothing really popping out to us. All right, keeping on. So we have discovered stone cutting, and Babylonia has started building the Jerwan Aqueduct, which is a world wonder. It gives victory points. We're never going to get early game wonders unless you're playing like Egypt. Oligarch Aswina's tutor mission has led to an event, and my wife has given birth to a daughter, and my third in line son is old enough to be tutored. Unfortunately, we can't afford to tutor him. We can only afford to tutor one son, and so I'm going to choose my heir. Okay, so this is a tutor event. My prince can become inspiring, which will give us culture across the empire. That's really good. When he becomes the leader, I can make him bold, so he just is better. Or I can make him educated, which makes him more scientific. Honestly, he's kind of becoming a little bit of a sciencey kid. So let's give him a little bit of science. +2 is kind of crazy. I'm going to go ahead and tutor him one more time. You can get 2 tutors on your son, and if you can, do it. All right, sick. The Odeon is actually a really good early building because it gets you that culture flowing. The nice thing about Old World is that there are also boost techs. These are sort of slightly cheaper things that allow you to invest. Maybe you're making a lot of science, right? And you can invest that science in getting a boost, right? Like an extra worker or a bunch of stone. That can be helpful for building an early game wonder. If your leader is a scholar, you can also redraw technologies to kind of shuffle your way through to give you a bit more control over what you want to research. I'm interested in the free worker. I think the free worker gives us a lot of early game tempo. My third in line is growing. I'm going to send him out into the world. Go explore, brother. Land of the Midnight Sun. So he has been exploring. I can gain some stuff. He comes home. I become superstitious. Don't like that. Or he will gain experience. We lose money and he becomes bold, and he can lead to future events. Unfortunately, we haven't researched exploration, or I would have been able to get this. I will allow him to continue exploring. I'm down with that. Let's clear these guys out. That's another unit killed. Awesome. We're spending a lot of our early game resources on upgrading our leaders, which is a decision. Let's go ahead and build this quarry now. And you can see when I hover over the quarry, it shows you all of the viable tiles you can build a quarry and how much they output. So the quarry on this marble is really good. Brother, let's jump up on this hill. So we are going to eventually come into conflict with the Scythians, but ideally we would take our time on that until we can get our units with anti-horse upgrades, because the Scythians are very horse-based. Somebody has founded a religion, and we can't access those cities yet, so don't need to worry about that. My son is a tactics student, and he's now a dog owner, so he can become compassionate, strict, or ruthless. I've been kind of building him in just like a strong statsman direction, so I'm going to go make him compassionate. So the pitfalls of restraint. So I can lose some of my discipline and become strict. Sorry, what is this again? No, I can lose some of my courage and become strict. I can gain courage and lose discipline. The problem with losing discipline is that it would hurt my gold per turn, and I really don't want to lose gold per turn, whereas I'm a little bit more okay with losing this. Unfortunately, I don't have enough wisdom to take this, because it would be amazing to get more discipline. Gold is so useful early game. So I'm going to lose this and become strict. That's fine. Israel is my son. He's second in line. He is out adventuring. I can level him up. I'm going to get him a discipline point, because that extra little bit of gold coming in from his stats is really nice. I'm going to promote this unit. Tough is a really nice ability. It basically means your unit is 10% stronger if it's damaged. Eagle Eye is extremely powerful for range units though, because it means they no longer take a penalty to their damage from distance, and also leads to marksman, which gives them +1 range. So very good long-term bonus to take is Eagle Eye. So we'll take that and then we'll heal to get this unit's combat strength up. Yeah, let's keep exploring. We were the first to discover a landmark. That means we can name it. We can call this the Beans River if we want. And that's it, boom, that's just Beans River, and we get a legitimacy boost for being the first person to find it. We also found the Danes. We could declare war on the Danes. Now, they're a little bit further away, but the legitimacy will be nice. I like to avoid warfare with the tribes very early into the game, because I think it's dangerous. Oh, okay, so your scouts have found a community here. I can get my scout to convert to this religion. I will gain a citizen, and my scout will become an adept, which would allow him to spread religion, and Zoroastrianism would spread to Agilis. Now we could make this our state religion. We wouldn't have a whole lot of control over this religion because we don't control the founding city. But we could do something with this. We could also use the community as a base to explore the area before moving on. Or we can steal their money. Let's go with this early religion. I like this. So my scout is now able to spread religion to tribes, which is fascinating. And also he has a religion. And my capital now has Zoroastrianism, which is equally fascinating because Zoroastrianism will give us culture. Now, the downside is we don't have control over this religion. So if we upset this religion, there's going to be downsides in the cities that follow it. But it will have upsides for diplomacy with the people who follow it. Israel has traveled to the Arctic. I can make him a tracker, Highlander, or tough and gain 60 experience. Or I can tell him to come home. He'll get a boost of culture. He becomes robust. You know what, buddy? Robust is pretty good. Why don't you come on home? Let's keep healing this guy up. We want him to be nice and healthy in case we get attacked. But yeah, a lot of your early game orders are going to be spent exploring. So just don't be too surprised if that's what you spend a lot of your early game doing. I'm kind of trying to explore this mountain range. I'm guessing we're near the edge of the map. You can see that black line there is the edge of the map. All right, sick. We're about to finish some workers, and we can maybe start training some settlers. I want to settle this city site over here. Another world wonder is under construction. My prince has had his wisdom improved again. Awesome. And there's now a patriarch at the head of Zoroastrianism. They're upset with me because we have different personality traits, so ugh, my son has returned home. Now the problem here is this religion does not like me, so that's going to add unhappiness to my cities. Now I can go ahead and talk to this guy if I could find him and like do a little bit of diplomacy with him, but I'm just going to have to try and improve the relationship with the religion. It's fine. So I can just about afford this settler if I sell a little bit of iron here. So let me sell some iron so I can buy this settler because that's what I want. I want to get up over here and settle Axum. Coming into Sabat, 2 workers is a great opening set of moves for a city in my opinion. And once we have the stone, we'll start making treasuries for that gold per turn. It's very, very useful. So let's get ourselves a second worker in here. Awesome, good job building that marble tile. We're now making stone per turn. Let's pop over here and build ourselves another quarry. I've got another worker in the city. Now, one of the things you can do is if, I don't know, I don't want to have to like use my undo right here because I don't know if I have the resources or even the ability to build this here. But if I hold down shift and I right click, this queues up an order and I can see actually, oh yeah, I can build a camp here. I can queue that up and then I'll go like, oh yeah, then I would come over here and I would build a mine and I can kind of plan out my turn. Now, I don't know how this works, but basically it gives you a lot of ability to plan your turn. So I kind of want this fur online because it's a lot of culture and gold. And gold is a very flexible resource to get a hold of. However, I don't have the resources to get it this turn because I have nothing to sell. So I'll have to get that next turn. This worker, this sector right here is going to be my military circle. You want 7 tiles for your military circle. That's how I like to think of it long term. So I wish there was a way I could like plot down what I want here. But basically, I want to put like a barracks, a citadel, an archery range, and then a stronghold. Kind of, or maybe it's stronghold citadel, I don't remember. Basically, that'll give me a ton of orders and a ton of training, which will allow me to build a really strong and powerful military. And in a kind of a circle is the optimal way to do it. So I'm going to move you over here in preparation to build a quarry, because if I build quarries adjacent to my other quarries, the quarries will be more efficient. I'm going to cut the trees here, but not actually delete them. I'm just going to cut them down for the extra 20 wood. In fact, that 20 wood will allow me to build the camp. Oh, that was perfect. Boom. So now we got the camp coming in 3 years. Beautiful. It is important to note that your workers are going to use at least 1 order per turn to function. Oh, that was not the unit I meant to move. I was trying to move you. Yeah, so your workers are going to, like, if you're keeping your workers moving, at least 1 order per turn is what they're going to be demanding, possibly 2. So do keep that in mind. Workers are very, very expensive in terms of orders, but they provide a lot of value in return. I just got another free worker. Amazing. Now, I want to take a moment to talk about this worker. Does it have a family? Sometimes you can get workers without a family. This one does have a family. If you get a worker without a family, basically, this red worker will work slower in this white city. So just something to keep in mind. Let's see here. I can establish a state religion. It's not a bad idea, honestly. Or my prince can get even more scientific. God damn. I mean, this ambition is awesome, but making my prince even more scientific is crazy. Now I can make him a hero or a commander. So heroes are really good as generals, whereas commanders are good because they can act as ambassadors or generals. Heroes are really strong because they launch offensive, whereas the commander is really strong because it gives you that discipline for the extra gold per turn. So that's what I'm going to go. I'm going to go for that because that gold per turn is really going to help us kickstart our economy, in particular when we're trapped behind these mountain ranges. So my third in line has had an exploration event. I can make him more disciplined, but he will come home. I will become intolerant, which is not ideal because that lowers my civics. Or I can say he becomes superstitious. He loses a little bit of wisdom and he becomes a herbalist. Unfortunately, we don't have exploration. So I'm going to say respect all pantheons. I get +1 more charisma, increasing my civics output, and I get a good leader for a military unit. So boom. I'm going to tell my militia to go to sleep. Let's see this scout here. Let's make sure we move our workers first. I like to move my workers over anything else. You step in here. Oh, sorry. That was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to build a quarry here. It's a little expensive. Once you step onto those sheep right there and wait a turn, get exploring with this lad. Okay, we found a little bit of desert. Nice. Scouting along the edge, we found the Samba River, a little bit of legitimacy. So exploration is worth it. All right, we could get ironworking to get warriors. We can get polis to get hamlets and walls. We can get military drill to get barracks. I'm a big fan of barracks. It uses iron, but it gives you a huge amount of training. Rhetoric is fantastic. I really like early barracks because having a ton of training gives you a lot of flexibility with your orders. And barracks gives you training. Big fan. Big fan. My second in line has gained a discipline point. Awesome. So he's a 20% chance to become miserable. So I can tell him to find someone to adopt the baby, or I can get my son to marry a schemer. Now, it's kind of dangerous to have a schemer in your family that doesn't like you because they might do some bad stuff to you. But you found yourself a wife, buddy. My third in line has leveled up. So I could upgrade his wisdom, or I could upgrade his charisma or courage. I'm gonna give him a little bit of courage. That could be useful, especially if he becomes a military leader, which I'm gonna need a few of those. We have not actually unlocked pastures yet, so I'm gonna get you up on this mine. Can I afford the mine? It's 90 gold. So I sell a little bit of stone and then I can buy a mine, which will give me 8 iron per turn once it's finished. We just need to get our baseline resources up so we can actually build these things. All right, you keep exploring. I'm so used to playing Civ 7 that I want like the radar button. I can go and like scan. My son, my second in line, and his wife have given birth to a son. My second in line is now a builder. That's awesome. Builders are great governors. Awesome governors. And he's going to pump our economy full of gold, which gives us a lot of early game flexibility. My fourth in line can return. He'll either become divine, cruel, or exotic. Well, sounds like fun. Head home, buddy. Let's find out what you learned out in the world. Now, my son is not married, so I could arrange a marriage with either a tribe or a family. So if I wanted to marry the Danes, you know, we can upgrade our relationship there. Or we could do a family marriage to the Aga. I'm going to go with a family marriage to the Aga, as I think that'll be a good direction to take that. I'm going to move this worker onto this tile because these mountains, potentially really good for quarry production. What if I went here? There's nothing I can build on the urban tiles side of things. So I definitely just need to cut some trees down. We used up our orders. That's fine. Let's go to the next turn. We're a little bit choked for orders. That'll get easier with time. Okay, the ziggurat is under construction. My second in line has had a daughter. So my family tree is getting pretty good. He became cruel, which sucks. He's my fifth in line though, so I don't need to worry about that. The Agas want to marry my son, like we said. So we can marry Lab, who is a commander with weak wisdom, or Nikala Swift. Let's see, Nikala Swift. I do like that she has discipline. The dowries are basically the same. I'm going to take her because she has the discipline. Early gold is quite powerful. I'm a big fan of that. But you can see, where is my family? Yeah, here we go. This is my family tree, okay? You can see the line of succession is going from Prince Gabra to Duke Israel to Duke Israel's children, and then potentially over here. So we're starting to build a family tree. These people are going to populate our map. We have some laws here. We can either implement slavery, which will give us iron and stone in every city, or freedom, which will give us happiness and growth. Slavery is great for kickstarting your economy, whereas freedom's really good long-term for building a really, really good and strong economy. It's hard, man. It's hard to choose. These extra resources are so damn good early, but we make so much gold, I think we can go for freedom here. If I didn't have this much gold income, I think I would have to go for slavery just to fill out my economy. So if we go to our cities now, if we go into Agilis here, you can see the discontent level is increasing slower because we have more happiness offsetting it. And the city should have a growth bonus here due to freedom. Yeah, perfect. All right, let's chop here. If we built a quarry here, it'd be quite good. It's not what we're looking to do though. All right, I'm going to move these workers into position to build my barracks once I have unlocked them in 6 years. There's nothing else I can really do with them in the short term. So I'll just tell them to kind of chill for now. These tumbling mountains will eventually disappear. You kind of tell because they're sand mountains. I'm going to get started on building roads from Sabat to Agilis. So I'm going to build a road going down here, possibly across this mountain range. Like this thin, you want to build roads along flatland if you can, but that'll allow me to move people between. So we've got a culture event in Agilis. I can become a judge, which is nice. I can become a schemer. I can join the wrestling and become a hero, or I can just observe and gain experience. The advantage of a judge is that you can use money to rush specialists, and rushing specialists with money is quite powerful. And he is acting as a governor, which is really quite powerful. So I think switching to become a judge is not bad here. So Angabo, my fifth in line, is returning home. We can make him a courtier, a court scholar, or we can tell him to keep going exploring, and he'll become exotic. Honestly, bro, I don't need you home. You should just go exploring. So Aga has been accused of keeping slaves, which is in direct contradiction for our royal law freedom. So we can lose legitimacy, or we can enforce freedom. This will make them have less opinion of freedom, but I would become righteous. We could switch to slavery for free, again, and it's not that bad for my empire. And we're a judge, so we can switch laws real easy, and this would heavily influence oligarch Saizana, making this family like me more, getting them out of this negative opinion boost. So I'm gonna say, let's fucking bring on slavery, baby. I can get more charisma. I think charisma is so strong. I definitely want to get Horsebane on you, but first I'm going to get Marksman. But I don't want to do that just yet. So your job was to build roads. I believe we hold N and we can see the... Oh, wait. Requires one active law. Oh, damn. We're actually close to being able to build a garrison. Well, hell, let's do that. Let's get that garrison going. It's going to allow me to put a... It's going to get me half a point of orders per turn. It's going to allow me to put a governor in Sabat. These two workers are chilling for now, which gives me a lot of orders to spend on scouting. All right, sick. We found the Jaxartes River. So there's at least 2 more camps that are owned by the Scythians. We kind of want to figure out who has the most camps and who might be the easiest to defeat before we commit to which one of these guys we want to attack. It's kind of looking like the Danes might be an easier kill at the moment. So we might move up north there with the Slinger. We'll see. Maybe we want to attack to Spearmen and attack the Scythians. Judaism has been founded. see. Yeah, you're going to get started on another mine because we need at least a trickle of iron. You guys are chilling while my scouts are doing the work. That might have been a misclick there. Skadoosh. Perfect. Couldn't remember the greatest song in the world. Alright. Okay, the German aqueduct has been finished. They started building that a long time ago. Now, these mountains should start tumbling. My distant successor daughter, you know what? Why don't you study politics? My fifth in line, I can bring him home. I'll become timid. Hell no. You stay out there, buddy. Oh, look at that. I gain more discipline. That's 32 gold per turn, 8% gold in the city. Angabu and King Caleb, we gain experience. Bro, keep exploring. Hell yeah. There's a big advantage to having like random members of your family out exploring in the world. We found the Holm Oak Woodlands. Okay. Ooh, an ancient ruin. Oh shoot. We can acquire divination and start building shrines. We can start founding paganism. Or I could become more scientific. I am age 42. I'm going to start getting old and dying now. You know what? Let's acquire a free technology and try to build some shrines. We might just have, you know, an old pagan religion in our capital city. Might be really good. So there's divination. That's going to give us access to our pagan religion stuff. Right, good exploration happening over here. So we've pretty much explored our full sector of the world. All right. So my distant successor can become intelligent, or she can become estranged from me, and I gain discipline. Hannah would become disappointed with me. You know what? I want my distant successor to be intelligent. My capital city has grown. I could get started on some slingers. I would love to get the treasury. I would also love to build this farmer here so I can get a granary and start building my farming loops. So I might hurry out this farmer to shave a turn off and then build a treasury for the gold. I might even go to treasury 2 so that we can keep that gold line pumping. I'll have a think about that. Ooh, mint coin. So minting coin would give me legitimacy. That might be good to do. I think that's something you can only do in your capital. That's half an order per turn. Really quite powerful. But yeah, by growing to this farmer, we'll gain extra growth, extra science, extra food. We'll get access to this marble. We'll be able to build a granary here, boosting this farm and the farmer, because the farmer gets boosted by the tile getting boosted. And we'll be able to continue this loop in a really nice fashion, because granaries give you a lot of growth. Yeah, we got a lot. We got so much stuff that we want to build. God, yeah, we got so much stuff we want to build. Let's get the settler moving out to this city. Took me nearly 23 turns to get that second settler. Oof. All right, Scout. Mark Scout, find me the world. My mind is open, so he can become exotic. Hell yeah, let's become exotic. That's so much charisma. Oh my god. Bro, I'm making so many civics, and civics is the resource you use to rush things, right? Like if I wanted to rush out, if I'm like, oh, I want an extra worker, I can spend 460 civics to rush that. So civics, really, really important. Man, Mike, I'm going to be so sad when this guy dies. He's got 9? He's got 9 charisma? Holy shit. That's insane. Nice, we got a new event as well. I can become the Explorer, a cogno. We can send luxuries to tribes or control 5 developing cities. Now, developing is the second culture. We could also just take the legitimacy. Controlling 5, starting a new ambition this late into my king's life could be tough. We could make it work. So, considering we only own 2 cities and may only be able to get like another one before he dies, it might be hard to do it, but you know there's nothing wrong with giving ambitions a try. All right, someone's building an necropolis. People are converting to Zoroastrianism. We can adopt Zoroastrianism as the state religion. Let's adopt Zoroastrianism as the state religion, as we said. Boom. That will make Zoroastrianism actually like us a little bit more. My 5th in line is exploring. We could bring him home, and that could lead to a bonus event, so let's bring him home. All right, now, getting a mercenary spearman when we're going to be fighting Scythia is actually amazing here. So I'm going to pay that 320 gold. Now, the really big advantage of mercenary, 5th in line, he's leveled up. Charisma, courage. Let's get that discipline. The advantage of mercenary spearmen is they do not belong to a family, as far as I remember. So they can actually fight effectively in any tile of your territory, and any family can command their units. You do not have to have, because like only Aga commanders are willing or are allowed to command Aga military units. So mercenaries are very, very useful to get because they're a little bit more universal. So I've moved my settler out towards the city site. Agelus completed a farmer, as was the plan. We could recruit a Zoroastrian in disciples. We could get a slinger. I do think the extra legitimacy from minting coin is quite powerful. Now the downside is, while I'm building this minting coin, I'm not storing civics up here in my stockpile. So that's something that's worth considering. But I think minting this coin will get me plus 10 legitimacy, which is an extra order per turn. And also a trickle of gold, a trickle of money, but not too much money, but a trickle. All right, this worker's waiting for barracks. You have built the garrison, and that means we can actually put a leader in charge of the city. We want to find someone young with good skills so they can be in here for a long time. Duke Israel could be a good option, although I don't have enough civics to do that just yet. So you pop up over here, get me a quarry. You pop right there, you'll build the barracks next turn. A bat is ready to build something. We have no citizen here. We have built 2 workers. Do we want to get a third? Or do we want to take the time to get something like a treasury? It's 10 gold per turn. We get 100 gold on completion. We could also pump a couple of festivals to force some growth in the city and increase the culture per turn, which is not in of itself a terrible move. We could also build a militia or a slinger to defend the city. And honestly, having a slinger to defend a city is not a terrible move. So I'm going to go ahead and just slowly build a slinger in here. I can fortify it here to protect the city from any potential raids from the Danes if the Danes declare war on us. And then we'll just go back to scouting. Scouting makes me feel good. All right, good stuff. So we have at least 1, 2, 3 more city locations. We might declare war on the Danes soon. But yeah, these mountains should start tumbling. We should start to see it soon. So we've unlocked military drill, which is going to give us access to the barracks. The barracks will increase our training rate by 20%, and it'll allow us to train melee units over time. And we'll get access to the officer specialist, which produces training and science. Now, the other really nice benefit... Oh, also, somebody built the Yazalikilikaya. So taking root. This is my 5th in line. He has come home. He acquires a planter's cloak, which is an item that gives groves 100% output and vegetation regrowth boost if he is a governor. Awesome. May we all find our calling. Awesome. So Zoroastrianism is our state religion. We can spend 4 legitimacy to get legal code. Legal code has some upkeep in terms of orders, but it does give us 10 civics per law that we have active. We can refuse to do this, gain legitimacy, and upset Zoroastrianism for 20 years. I'm going to take the upsetting of Zoroastrianism. Orders are very difficult to afford early in the game, so I want to make sure I have plenty. I'm kind of hoping there's one more city location out here, because otherwise this land is going to be hard to ever really utilize. All right, settler. I'm thinking I settle right here to grab the wine. Boosh. And we need to found either a cleric seat, which could theoretically allow us to found a religion, or a trader's seat. The advantage of founding the cleric seat is that we get monasticism, which is the technology required for monasteries, and this place can produce disciples faster. And in theory, we could found a religion here. I don't know necessarily. I think we're going to stick with Zoroastrianism, maybe. So I'm going to found a cleric seat here to kind of play into Zoroastrianism. So now we get the monasticism technology that's going to allow us to build monasteries. They use wood to produce science, and you also get access to the monk, and they key off of groves, and this place does have a couple of groves. This will also unlock an important law for us. We can either go for monotheism and gain +1 order per city that follows Zoroastrianism, or we can go polytheism and build shrines in every city and go for a more paganistic angle. So let's have a look here. The game recommends that we research polis. Polis would give us access to hamlets, which allow us to convert food into gold. I do like the Odeon. I also like Polis. Polis is a great pickup here. Spearmen would be really useful if we decide to go fight the Scythians, and that might actually be the next move on our cards here, is to get ourselves like 2 extra spearmen to go clear out the Scythians. So we'll get started on Phalanx. Kahaito is a brand new city. And this one I'm going to get started with a slinger so that it's defended, because now that we're settled close to the Scythians, it's likely that they will want to declare war on us. So I'm going to start with a military unit in there. They take a very long time to recruit early in the game, but it is important to get it up and running. I should have the civics now to put Duke Israel, who is a builder, so that improvements are built in here faster, in charge of Sabat. So I'm going to put him in here, boom. And then I'm going to spend some of my training points to buy an order here so we can get started on this barracks. It's going to give us 1.6 training per year at the cost of 2 iron. That is plenty. I'm going to buy 2 more orders so I can do the same over here in my capital city. Let me sell everything that isn't iron. I can't quite afford that. Oh, that's fine. All right, Spearman. You have anti-mounted. You are a melee unit, so you're quite good on guard. So I'm going to give you guard, so you're good at tanking damage. And then that's all of the actions I can do this year. We'll go to year 26. Okay, seeding the initiative. My second in line wants to add farms to Sabat, and we'll get a bunch of food. I can make Duke Israel, who's my second in line, into the chosen heir. I can announce my own initiatives to deal with the food shortages at the cost of civics, which will make me smarter. 50% chance. Or I can do nothing. And basically, I indulge in revelry, making me weaker. I can become stressed. I'm going to announce my own initiative here, so I have a 50% chance to become smarter. So draw of the forbidden ways. My daughter, my distant successor, can become a magic practitioner, or I can give her discipline. I'm going to give her discipline. I don't want to upset the church too much. Not for no reason, anyway. Do I have a nice young general that I can put in charge here? Here you are, Menelik of Agilis. Why don't you go ahead and jump on in charge of this guy? I should be able to afford a new barracks. Boom. So we've got 2 barracks coming down to the capital. Awesome. This worker, I want to zip on over here so that we can get started on a granary. Granaries give you +2 growth per year. They use up 1 wood per year, but they give you a 60% boost for adjacent farms. So you can see those farms right there are going to get a nice big old boost. But the growth is really, really useful for making sure that the city reaches its potential in a reasonable amount of time. All right, that's the end of the year. We built a mint. We got a little bit of legitimacy out of that. And we're going to finish the mint again. We'll go to the next year. Christianity has been founded. Manichaeism. A new religion has been founded in my empire. That was not what I was expecting. My son has gained discipline, and one of my generals has become a ranger. Awesome. Manichaeism, the prophet Mani, can become a courtier. I can exile him. I can make him a courtier and gain science. I mean, that science is really nice, but the problem is I'm getting old, so I'm going to die soon. I'll take the boost of religious friendship here. So the Queen of the Scythians, let's see, we can get tribute from the Scythians, and they will tribal raid me. Mordos would like me, and he would seize leadership of the Scythians. She would become fugitive. Interesting. Or I can get Queen Lampedo to owe me a favor. You know what? Getting her to owe me a favor buys me time for when they declare war on me. And I get stronger faster than they do. So buying me time is great. All my workers are working. So I'm going to try and get my scout down here to a more open area. I want to scout this little corner. Get some vision of like where the tumbling mountains are. Zip on over here to the Danes. Looks like they have triggered a tribal rage. And they're raiding Carthage, believe it or not. But they cannot reach Carthage as far as I can tell. All right, sick. The mint is finishing now. Let's go to the next turn. I might need more workers. I definitely need to build my roads and stuff. My son, my heir, and my daughter-in-law have given birth to a son who's now second in line. My daughter-in-law is converted. People are converting to the new religion. My grandson, who's fourth in line, can be tutored. I don't think he's worth tutoring. And Oligarch Bazin of Kaihuto, head of the Tigrayan family, has become impulsive. Oh, interesting. So the Danish people are demanding a marriage. And if we refuse, it's likely we will get a war. So if I refuse, they will likely declare war on me, which I'm fine with. We could fight them. Duke Zascales, my grandson, fourth in line, is ready to be educated. Go explore, brother. You're out there, man. My daughter-in-law, I can learn from her and we'll both gain stats. I can influence her. She's married to my heir. So her relationship to me isn't as important as her relationship to my son. So I think learning from her and improving her stats is actually really good. So I'm going to learn from her and gain that little bit of science. So Agilis has finished building the mint. We can't upgrade the mint until we upgrade the culture of this city. It needs to have culture strong. It only has culture developing. What's our next step? I do think it makes a lot of sense to build our rural specialist on the stonecutters. This is worth 2.2 civics, 1 science, and 5.5 stone per year, which is a little bit better than the average stonecutter. We could recruit some Zoroastrian disciples. We do have the ability to build monasteries now. They do cost a decent amount of wood. The treasury, on the other hand, if I built my treasury, I would gain 100 gold plus 10 per year, and then I could upgrade my treasury, get 200 gold, and get plus 20 per year, which this gold gives me a lot of economic flexibility for purchasing and selling resources, which would allow me to afford more things, basically. So I think I'm going to go for the treasuries. That gold is going to help us out. I've got a worker up here. Now, I don't have colonization yet, so I can't buy tiles, unfortunately. This is my military circle right here. This is where the orders and training is going to be generated. I suppose I could make use of this character, this worker, to head down here to start cutting down trees to feed the wood demands of my empire. It's a way for me to turn orders into gold by cutting down trees. And the more gold I have, the more flexible my economy is in terms of spending and purchasing and resources. Okay, the Scythians are giving us a tribal raid in Kohaito. The ziggurat has been built. More people are converting. My daughter-in-law is the head of Manichaeism. So, Kalina, my daughter, who's a distant successor, I can spend some resources to improve her, or I can spend money to improve her a lot, or I can make her humble, but it would hurt my legitimacy. I don't like losing legitimacy, so I'm going to spend money to make her better. Having really strong characters in your empire can be useful. My grandson, who's fourth in line, I could bring him home to spread Judaism, but I think what I will do is I'll just allow him to journey out into the world. Now, this spearman, I need to get him to Kohaito because there's a tribal raid on the way there, and the spearman is going to be extremely useful against the Scythian unit. So I'm going to go ahead and move the spearman out to this position. And then I'm also going to promote him with the tough ability, which gives him plus 10 combat strength, 10% combat strength if he is damaged. I'm going to move the slinger into the city center itself. And I will promote it with the marksman ability so that it can shoot further. Perfect. All right, where's a worker? Worker, you've built a barracks, move down a tile, build another barracks. All right, one barracks has been finished. I definitely want to build my shrines. What I might do, I think I might build all 4 shrines in Adulis. They're great for generating culture is the thing. So the shrine to Astar gives us growth. I could also spread these shrines out if I wanted to spread paganism around. I definitely feel like I'm going to just build them all in the one city because I might, well, you know what? We could go for polytheism and then go for tolerance. Maybe polytheism and tolerance is the right way to go. Well, I like the idea of polytheism and tolerance, so let's go that direction. All right, I'm going to start here. And I will start with the Shrine of Behir, but I need to sell some stuff. So I'm going to sell 100 food. I'll sell some iron. I'll build this shrine right there. And I'll build a line of shrines down like this. The idea being that I want to expand my borders down towards these resources that I'm going to have a hard time getting to without expanding my borders. Because shrines are one of the urban buildings that actually are one of the urban buildings that don't need to be built next to other urban buildings and also expand your borders. Which is really nice. So one of the really nice things about barracks is they give a 20% yield boost to adjacent stronghold/fortification buildings. Got a political proposal. The Scythians want to marry Ariant the Scythian to my daughter. I'm going to resist this match so I can get legitimacy. Legitimacy is incredibly powerful. Kalina, a distant successor, is going to become a scholar. I'm very happy for her to become a scholar. The nice thing is she can tutor my children. Let's see, my wife is a little bit wary of Asina the minister, who's in love with me. Now, I could make her my lover, but that would make my wife vengeful of me. I can remove her from the court, which would exile her. Aswina is head of the Baria family, so that would be really bad if I did that. I could buy her a pet, and she'll become a little bit jealous, but she would have a pet monkey. There you go. Keep yourself busy with a pet monkey, dear. We've got matters of state to attend to. Okay, brilliant. We got our granary down here. I'm going to pop across the river and build ourselves another farm. We want to have a really strong resource throughput across a variety of fronts. I can't remember. No, I don't think we have the culture in here to do this yet. But we could build some estates. Now, estates use up training in exchange for culture. But it also makes your people more happy. So we would have less military capability, but we would have more culture and happiness. I just don't remember. Do the estates spread your borders? I don't think they do. So you kind of want to put them somewhere out of the way, really. Yeah, on this hill seems fine. Damn, look at that. We could potentially build a Jebel Barkal. That would be expensive. We need 900 stones, 8,000 gold. It's very unlikely we're going to be able to do that. So let's not try that. But I do think building estates here is a good move. So I'm going to go ahead and get you to chill there. I'm going to zip on through here and spend some orders cutting down some of these forests. All right, pyramids are under construction. My son is converted. The whole family is converting. So my fourth in line grandson can become superstitious. I could bring him home for some training, Or I could spend some money to allow him to stay out there and stay foolish. I don't have exploration, so I can't study fascinating creatures. You know what, Duke? Continue exploring until you find me something good. Now, Oligarch Aswina can become my lover, which might not be necessarily too bad because that would allow me to get a huge relationship boost with the Baria family. However, if I politely decline, I will get a boost to my discipline. And having a lover can lead to bastards. And like, yeah, okay, that's all great and dandy, you know, but I think I would rather get the discipline. That will mean my relationship with the Baria family will decay a little bit, but that's fine. Let's get this spearman over. I can't afford to promote, but that's fine. The general of this army is getting quite old. What age are you? He's age 51. We might want to replace this general with someone a little younger. I'm going to replace him with Prince Gabra Mascal, just someone who's a little younger. Sabat, I could get myself a trapper here. 2 culture, 1 science, and 20 gold per year is really, really, really damn good. And the border pop is really quite nice. So I'll get that trapper. It's always good to build your specialists on your resources, in my opinion. They're really quite valuable. All right, Scout. We wanted to build an estate here. We can't quite afford it. Sell some more iron. And now we can get the estate started. Perfect. We can spend this worker's orders generating wood, as wood is quite expensive to purchase. So, and as long as we don't double chop the trees, they will regrow, which is nice. We're going to start seeing this cavalry raid hitting Kohaito now soon. Thankfully, we will have a slinger, and it'll be a slinger from the family. Ooh. Carthage is building the Jebel Barkal. That's fine. I am now severely ill, so there's a 70% chance that I die next year. My grandson, who's 4th in line, is going to level up. I will take discipline. A big fan of discipline. All right, slinger, pop this guy. Spearman, pop this guy. That's 1 cavalry unit down. These guys are getting some experience. Agilus is ready to construct. You finished your treasury. Now, Zoroastrianism is my state religion, so it is worth it potentially to spread it. I could use 2 disciples to spread it twice, and spreading it is worth +1 happiness per year. I'm going to build at least 1 so we can build a monastery, maybe. Unless, should I start leveling up my apprentice officers? You know, these apprentice officers could be turned into master officers and elder officers who would generate a lot of baseline training as well as base science. It's kind of there's a few different directions we could go. We could also do festival here if we wanted to start getting culture per turn to speed up the development of our culture towards strong, which would allow us to upgrade our treasury, increase our minting, all that sort of stuff. I could even get more workers if I want to develop my empire more. That's genuinely not a terrible idea because I'm finding myself with spare orders towards the end of my turn. So maybe I need more military. Maybe I need more workers. Maybe I need more, you know, other stuff. I'm going to queue up a worker. I think that's a reasonable choice. I have a slinger here. I am going to tell this unit to sleep on this city. Your job is to guard it. Just having a few military units floating about your empire is extremely useful. And then I'm going to use my orders here to chop these forests once each. You know, each set of wood. It's either worth like 48 gold just straight up to sell or up to double that if it makes us avoid having to buy gold. So quite valuable to chop wood. It's a great way. Oh, well. I didn't know this was here. This is useful information for me to I didn't know these guys were here. This is going to be a really great way for me to level up some units. Once I have man, I knew I should have scouted down here. Damn it. I thought about it and I was like, yeah, there's no way there's going to be but it turns out there was a city nestled in here just hiding. Well, that happens. So I want Kohaito to expand north. I want this city to expand north. I want this city to expand northwest, and I want this city to expand west. So we're gonna be kind of growing into the center of our lands. But this is great because there's so much lumber mill potential down here. We don't have a huge amount of lumber mills in our current setups. The great lumber mill down here in the southwest of the future empire. I do think recruiting some more military could be really good for me. What I really need is to get my Shotel warriors. All right, so we have paganism now in Axum in Agilus. I made a miraculous recovery from my serious illness. That's beautiful. We've got a dry season. So this is actually one of the unique events from the new DLC, I believe. We can build up stockpiles, or we can just kind of risk it for a biscuit. I always like to take the more safe approach, but I don't have the resources right now, so I'll take the risk it for a biscuit approach. All right, shoot with you, stab with you. This unit needs a general, I always prefer younger generals over older generals, so that's usually how I go about things. It's how I choose. We got production in Kohaido. We could go for another slinger. This city completely lacks any workers, so I'm going to grab ourselves 2 workers. I find 2 workers is a good minimum for a city. The Shrine of Behair has been built. Well, now I don't want to build a bunch of shrines in this direction because this city is going to be struggling for space if I grow all the way out there. So let me undo that. What if I put a shrine on this hill? It would be good to grow down towards the groves. I'll build some more shrines. Let's get a camp on this elephant because that will give us access to 2 things. First of all, we'll get access to 0.5 orders per turn and the carved ivory luxury resource, which is fabulous. So we'll start that camp right there. You're my chopper. You're going to build the quarry on this marble right there. Beautiful. I'm stepping you. Keep my scouts keeping an eye on those guys. Move you that way. Beautiful. We're up to 15 signs per turn, which is starting to look reasonable. People are converting to religions. Charisma. People are sick. Sick. Okay, cool. My wife has never been one for the Zoroastrianism, so I can impregnate my wife and upset Zoroastrianism, or I can estrange from my wife. You know what? She's 54. If she becomes pregnant, that's a miracle baby, okay? I'm going to take that chance. All right, let's heal this unit up. We have a worker over here. I'm trying to remember. There's nothing I can really build inside my cities right now. I am a big fan of the focus promotion. It's a 10% chance to deal double damage, which is really quite powerful. And then I suppose, in the meantime, you just keep zipping around, cutting down trees so we have a good stockpile of wood. Ooh, actually, you know what you could do that would be really useful is if you started building the roads that we need. Because we are lacking roads. Let's go to the next turn. All right, we got a sandstorm near Sabat. My wife has given birth to a daughter. Amazing. My son is the head of a religion. He's now upset with me because he doesn't like that paganism isn't the really. This is what I'm talking about. Things are getting complicated. We don't have the training to brave the storm. People are going to get upset, but I might become timid. I'm about to die anyway. I'm like 56. I'm at the end of my life. Bro, we're just going to take that hit. It sucks. We need to take out these Scythian camps ASAP. All right, let's move this guy forward so we can heal him. Worker on the elephants has done his job. We're going to keep building roads. And we're going to move in on this camp to the south. I'm going to turn off this map overlay now and we'll just start playing by vibes. So they should counterattack now. We will take pretty big damage from these horses, but we have a pretty good advantage in the spearmen. No, the general of the spearmen died, which means we don't get... Damn it. All right, we gain a little bit of experience. I can convert to Zoroastrianism. I will. I'm going to step back with this archer. Step forward with this spearman. The great thing about spearmen is they will actually damage the unit behind the unit that they attack. Let's get a kill, because a dead unit can't do damage. That's an important thing to remember. Dead units don't do damage. Sabat has grown a trapper worth culture, science, and gold. We could spread Manichaeism. I don't know if necessarily that is what we want to be doing. We could also get a settler in here. We could get another worker. Another slinger also isn't terrible. I think it might be time to build our treasury. So I'm going to build treasury 1 in here. And we shall keep adding roads. I've got a worker down here. What can you build here? You can only really build shrines. You know what you could help me with though is a road. If you built me a road. Yeah, okay. So hold on. Cancel this. Cancel this. I want you to go here, start building a road. See the way the road connects to the river? Rivers act as roads, which is a really cool gameplay mechanic. If I hold down B, you can see our trade network is in green. Anything that's connected to our trade network is green. Anything that is trade network but is not connected to our network is yellow. I do like that the game encourages you to build roads through rivers and off of hills, because roads on hills are more expensive. So it kind of naturally... Your roads will kind of tend to follow a sort of more naturalistic path. Somebody built a necropolis. There's a new king of the Danes. My heir and daughter-in-law have given birth. One of my oligarchs is sick. Omens of the End. So this is the... I'm troubled by dreams that Duke Menelik, my grandson, will destroy me. So we can abandon him to the elements or await fate. I have a 50% chance to become cursed. I will become stressed. I refuse to abandon a child to the elements. I await my fate. All right, sick. My grandson, my second in line, has become righteous. Awesome. We'll want to start educating him soon. So my fifth in line grandson is out exploring. He can become the cornerstone, which gives forts training. Oh, get a portcullis. which is a new technology. Or we can keep him out exploring and leveling up. I'm going to get that portcullis technology. That's awesome. This is going to give us access to the Spy Master, who can create agent networks. Their stats will increase certain aspects of our civilization. Remember, these also apply if their stats are negative, but they apply penalties. And we have access to the moat now, which is really cool, which means we'll be able to upgrade our walls to moats, all this sort of stuff. Sick. Right, we're going to spear attack here. We're in battle, so we don't have time to heal. We're going to critical strike. Beautiful. And then you're going to hit right there. Agilus has finished building a worker. I could build apprentice acolytes. They're great for culture and science. They're really great for culture and science, honestly. But the question is that what serves my empire best? You know, should I build the farmer on the farm here so I can get another granary and another farm? You know, the farmer on the farm will give us growth, allowing us to grow more citizens, build settlers even faster. Should I get my stonecutters on these resource tiles? Actually, the stonecutter on this resource tile would get me another granary spot. And that appeals to me. It's only a 2-turn build, you know. I could also do opulence here. Now, this does cost 500 gold, but it does get me a victory point and improves the relationship with the Aga. We're currently at 4 out of 50 victory points. I don't know if that's what we want to do. I don't know if we want to go to opulence just yet. I think we have other and better choices available to us. Yeah, I think I'm going to get this stonecutter. It's a lot of civics. It's good. So I could choose a Spy Master, ideally somebody young with high stats. So like Angabo, the herbalist here, is a great one, right? He's got that little bit of science, a little bit of family opinion, a little bit of scaling happiness, a little bit of orders income. He's not too old, he's also not too young. He will like us more when we stick him in here, which will lower the penalty from him being upset. He'll also level up. I'm going to make him my Spy Master. So now he likes me more. So we're not getting the penalty quite as much. So yeah, you can see here, +1 happiness in all cities. That's great. Now the other thing we can do is we can actually chat to this guy, and there's a thing we can do with him. I don't know how to do the Spy Master actions. I forget how to do those. Okay, we can infiltrate other nations. We can slander other nations. We can steal technology, assassinate, or expose. So a lot of cool stuff we can do. But for now, the Spy Master just provides us with a little bit of bonuses. All right, another worker has been completed. Let's get you into position to make the granary. Go ahead, keep adding road tiles for me, please, good sirs. That's all of our orders spent this turn as we build roads. Roads are a really good long-term investments for orders efficiency because it means you can move units between your cities at a much lower cost. My son exudes an aura of confidence. He gains charisma. One of my oligarchs is ill. My son just gained a discipline point. General of a slinger became bitter, and my second in line is ready to be tutored. Now that's actually important. I have become cursed. Oof. We've got Gunhild the Dane, who is a royal in-law. Oh my god. My 5th in line grandson came and he married a Danish woman. If I accept this, and we'll get a bunch of unhappiness. We do get a courtier. Whatever. Second in line, listen buddy, you're gonna have to study politics probably. Maybe even philosophy to manage this empire. Yeah, we might need a scholar to manage the empire. So I'm going to teach him philosophy. I'm also going to come in here, and this is my second in line. You're going to get tutored. Yeah, your best chance to get wisdom is from Gunhild. So it's expensive, but worth it. If I move my spearman to this tile, I'll be able to get pass-through damage. And we can take out another cavalry unit. Awesome. We're slowly chip. This is why you want these spearmen. Spearmen are so good against the Scythians. All right, keep adding road. We want these roads done as soon as possible. And so now, when I press B, the road isn't connected, but I add the road, boom. Now, Sabat is connected to my network. And the advantage of that is you gain a boost to your growth, happiness, and lowered maintenance. So that's really good. You chill there. Yeah, you should definitely build a shrine on this tile. There's nothing we can do with you because we've used up all of our orders, but we are up to 16 orders per turn, which is awesome. So many more orders than we started with. Eventually, you do get to the point where you have enough orders to do everything you need to do, and you start having excess. But the reality is, if you have too many orders, that means you need to build stuff to use them. So we just discovered phalanxes. We can make spearmen. Oligarch Saizana served us well, but he is now dead. General of the Slinger is ill. There's a bunch of new people. There's a new head of the family. Yeah, these families are starting to get upset with me. So Duke Alamanda, who's my second in line, will become fierce, bloodthirsty, or cruel. He became cruel, which does... It is a weakness, which is a negative character trait. So when he does become the leader, our cities are going to grow slower. But there are certain events that key off of Cruel in a good way. So War on the Stars, we can offer a sacrifice to gain happiness, or we can increase the stockpile in case of drought. I'm going to offer a sacrifice. We have an excess of resources. We're getting into the phase of the game now where we'll have a bit of an excess of resources, and our goal is to try and figure out ways to spend it. Kalina is my daughter, a distant successor. I can increase her stats, but she will become estranged from me. I'm pretty old, so her relationship with me isn't that important for the long term. Now, we could get ironworking if we wanted warriors. We could get aristocracy if we wanted to unlock the ambassador. Centralization, vassalage, rhetoric could get us forums, archers for ranges. I do like rhetoric. What's nice about rhetoric is if you implement epics, you get culture for every time you kill a military unit, which is really quite valuable. So I'm going to go for rhetoric. I like that one. Let's use a spearman attack. You pop him, and then you pop him. Good job. We're killing him. Slowly taking him out. Let's choose production and Agilis. We built the stone cutter here, which means we can build our second granary. You can build one granary level for culture level in the city. So that's going to give us even more growth. We're going to be clearing out a city site soon. So I do think getting a settler here to claim that is going to be really useful. Yeah, I want you to build the Shrine of Marum here. That will grow us to these gems. That's exactly what we want. We need to get access to those gems because they're really valuable. They're worth a lot of gold and culture. And it's a luxury too. Speaking of luxuries, actually, I could put ivory and fur into this city. And now discontent in my capital is going down. So I'm going to give fur as well. So if we can get discontent down to 0, the city will take no penalties. And it'll develop incredibly quickly. And I think your capital city, you want to develop it as hard and fast as possible. So I think... yes, it's probably not the most optimal way to use these resources, but I also don't think it's the least optimal way that those resources could be used. So we got the roads to Sabat. We could dip over here and help this guy in his road building exercise, because Kohaito does need help. Since there's not a huge amount we can do back in Sabat, but I will move one of these workers back to assist. Oh, that was not what I meant to do. I meant to move you here. And yeah, loving it, right? We're doing great. New laws are available to adopt. So we could go polytheism or monotheism. I think we're going to go polytheism here. Being able to build shrines everywhere might be really useful. Taking a more pagan direction. Yes, state religion is very strong, don't get me wrong. Monotheism is very, very strong. Okay, we got another tribal raid coming. We have discovered Carthage, and we can spend 4 orders to get a positive relationship boost with them. So I'm going to spend those 4 orders through an event. Spearman, I want you to step up and get this kill. My slinger here, I'm going to get you to heal. I'm going to promote this slinger with steadfast, so they're stronger against tribal units. I'm going to pull you back. That was too many tiles. I meant to only pull you back 1 tile and then heal first, and then we'll give you steadfast. Okay, so coming into Sabat, we could expand onto this trapper. It would get us science and half an order per year. Orders are incredibly valuable. Very, very valuable orders are. We do need to get more quarries, so I think expanding this quarry here would also allow us to build a quarry there. It's not a terrible plan. I'm going to go for the elephant though, and I'll just plonk a quarry down like right there. Exactly, that's fine. Boom. And then this city now should, when I build this road, be connected to the network. So we've got 2 cities connected to our capital, which gives us a really strong trade network. So my grandson, who's second in line, can get an experience boost, or he could become educated, pious, or humble. Now, he already has a pretty bad. He's already cruel. He is righteous, which is a strength. Educated, pious, or humble. All of these are strengths. So for a small cost to have a stronger heir, I will absolutely pay that. My daughter-in-law wants a divorce. I can't lose the. I cannot lose the. I can't afford to lose the legitimacy. Legitimacy is so important. I would rather hurt my relationship with people than lose legitimacy. My king has leveled up. So I can either gain wisdom, courage, or discipline. Discipline, oh my goodness, that is so much gold per turn. It's going to really help us out. Like my king, by the way, is worth 100 gold per turn. That's what stats are good for. We're out of orders. We do have a little bit of training to buy some, but I'm not going to. Training is useful for a variety of reasons, and it's always good to have a nice bank of it in the tank. So Oligarch Adana has died. There's a new head of the Aga family. Now she's pretty young, so it might be good for us to develop a relationship with her. She is a little bit upset with me, mostly because we have different relationship stats, but that's okay. I'm now known as Caleb the Old because I have reigned for 40 years. That gets me 40 legitimacy. Amazing. Awesome. So my second in line heir has become humble, and humble is great because it gives science and gold. Perfect. So by aiding the citizens of Carthage, we've improved our relationship with them. Now, they don't necessarily love us because we're different in our ways and we're quite close. But if we express a desire to cooperate, setting up trade could be quite profitable too. I don't need my king to get more stats because he's really close to death. So I'm going to go for the trade. That seems quite good. Ooh, losing legitimacy here would be terrible. Now, stone is more expensive than wood. So I would be more likely to want to buy the wood. So I'm going to come up here. And if I hold control, I'll buy that much wood. So I'll buy it. I'm really glad I had that wood stockpile. So now I'm going to rebuild this because 5 legitimacy is so painful. Legitimacy is one of your most important resources. I'm going to bring this spearman up and pop this guy with that spearman. You're healing. This is a new unit. Let's get this farm up. Boom. There's the farm. Trying to think what we need to build. The Shrine of Midir probably isn't as important to build, although it does give a boost for adjacent mines. And it also likes being near lumber mills. Let's see, Shrine of Midir. It'd be nice to put it next to this mine right here. Yeah, we don't have a lot of things to build. It's a bit of a problem we're running into, mostly because we don't have a whole lot of tile improvements. So we've done about 2 hours now of actually playing Old World. And, you know, I just want to point that out. You have been sitting here watching me play this game for 2 hours, presumably, right? And it's like, you've been entertained. You've been having a great time. Maybe you should buy it. Maybe you should consider buying. I'm not saying you should buy it, but maybe. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth looking into, at the very least. Okay, I'm going to set up. I'm going to help this city out because it's an older, or rather a newer city. I'm going to help it. I'm going to build a garrison here, and I'll build a barracks here, just to get a little bit of that infrastructure up because there's no workers. I know these guys will build inefficiently because they're from different cities, but that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We'll deal with that. And yeah, I'm trying to clear this barb camp, but there's like barbarians still spawning, and we've got raids coming, and you know, life is difficult. We're under attack. But Sabat, treasury is overflowing with growth. We got a developing cultural event. We can get gold, get civics, we can get training. We actually make plenty of gold. We don't make that much training. I'm going to take the 100 training. So Gunhild is a schemer, and she's going to become a rising star, which will allow her to serve as the Grand Vizier if she wishes to. At the cost of a little bit of civics, she will be influenced by me, and it'll add an agent network. You know what? Let's do it. Gunhilda, you're doing great, kiddo. Let's take out this horseman so we can take control of this. We can gain a warrior or a bunch of resources. I'm going to gain a bunch of resources. We now have control of the city site, and we have 2 slingers in position here to defend this city. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Yeah, I really do need more science, and so building specialists is going to be sort of the way that we extend our science income. I am curious. I don't feel like I've seen any hills tumble just yet, but maybe they tumble slowly. Perhaps it takes time for the hills to tumble. It's very curious though. I've got 8 orders left over, but I don't really have anything I can do with this. I suppose I could start building roads, but I don't necessarily need that. I suppose if I put a road here, it would connect this up, and making sure all my tiles are connected to my network isn't a terrible move. I do have a slinger here that I could promote, and Steadfast is a great promotion because it gives you a 25% combat boost against tribal units. So let's take that. I've got 5 orders left over. I can't remember how much money you get per order that's left over. My heir has given birth to a son, Duke Azaba. My wife is ill, so she may die soon. We've completed one of our ambitions, so we get 10 legitimacy out of that, which is really nice. I can send money to Duke Alameda. He can become a positive trait, or I can refuse to spend it. He will become frugal, but he is disappointed with me. He is my grandson, and he is second in line. Do I care if he's disappointed with me? Let's see. Educated is a great trait, and he already has the... You know what? Let's give him that trait. So this is where some of these events start to become problematic, right? Do we want to play Manichaeism off paganism? Well, we're devout, so we can make them both happy, which is rare that you can do that. All right, Spearman, clean him up. I'll use both of these slingers to plap these units. Gabra Mescal has leveled up. I do like intelligence because it gives you even more crit chance. I love crit chance. One of my favorite gameplay mechanics. I just love hitting people for big numbers, all right? Can anyone else relate? Is that not just the best way to live? Okay, a bunch of farms were added to this city. And they will eventually get deleted, I believe. We could add some granaries. I don't know if we want to add granaries. We could also add shrines to this city. So we're going here. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with adding a shrine right there, honestly. I forgot that I named this the Beans River. Oh, that's good. Sure, let's build a shrine of Marum. I like being able to build military units nice and quick. Good job on that granary. It isn't a terrible idea to put quarries adjacent to your bonus resource quarries, even building just a little triangle of them. Each quarry you put adjacent to this is a 10% boost to this tile. So if I do put a stonecutter on it, that's another, if I build two stone quarries adjacent to this, that's a 20% boost to this stonecutter, which is a nice efficiency bonus, which is why I want to put a stonecutter right there. Right, you chill there. You chill there. Yeah, right now our problem is a lack of technology, so that we need to advance more. So we need to start building specialists because our lack of technology means we don't quite have enough stuff to build. So there's two ways we can address that right now. First of all, we can start building monasteries, because monasteries provide us with a science, but also building specialists will give us science. My spy master, my son, has gained some charisma, which is nice. And my son, my grandson, became a carpenter. Sick. So my wife is dying. I could offer myself as a sacrifice, which means I die and my son takes over. You know what? My Admas has survived, is no longer severely ill. Somehow, I lived. All right. Sometimes you offer yourself as a sacrifice and it works. I'm going to pull you back to the city to heal, and then I'll kill this unit with you. You're going to finish this guy off. Brilliant. Angelus is ready to produce. I do think a Zoroastrian disciple to build a monastery would be really nice, because the monasteries do provide 2 science per year. So let's grab that disciple, and then we might look into maybe building some specialists on the shrines. So the settler over here wants to get to the Axum city site. We'll get you up over there. That's perfect. Good worker. We do want to build a... Oh, we have not researched husbandry, so we cannot build pastures yet. That is a little bit of a stinky moment. I tell you what we will build, though, is probably a granary. Yeah, I've got an idea. I'm going to build a granary here. I want this city to grow nice and strong. So I'm thinking a granary here, and a granary here will supercharge this wheat tile. And then if we put farms in between, we've got a wheat tile that just produces an insane amount of food, which feels pretty damn good. All right, excellent. Good job on the shrine. We're going to put the Shrine of Medir here as well, because this gives a 20% boost to adjacent mines. This is a gem mine, so it will enjoy it. Speaking of which, what we will actually do is disable this. You're going to step onto that mine, and you're going to build a mine right there. Look at that. 2 culture and 20 gold per turn. Amazing. And I'm going to move you up here, and you'll build the shrines. Kind of do a little bit of, the game is really, really nice, because you can play it by vibes, but you can also dig down and just super optimize every single move, expenditure of orders, which tile you step onto, how many tiles you move through. All right, so they're attacking my workers because we strayed a little bit too close to their barb camp. All right, so people are building wonders. Awesome. Carthage is at war with the Danes. So I can get peace with the Danes at the cost of gold. I can get them to owe me a favor, or I can declare war. Legitimacy is incredibly powerful, so I don't care about being at war with the Danes. My distant successor has leveled up. Go learn out in the world. We love those events. I'm going to step you onto this tile and shoot. And then I'm going to step you forward and shoot. Let's see here. Oh, great job. You got a critical hit, so I can level him up. And you got culture. No, you're going to become fierce. Boom. Good job. Oh, yeah. We love this. Horsebane on a spearman. That's amazing. Sabat has finished its production. It's going to grow in 3 years. We could get our treasury level 2. Very powerful ability. This city is going to need more units. I think there is something to be said for getting a couple of spearmen and parking them on these barracks, as they will level up slowly over time. So I think starting a spearman in here, we could even purchase it. You know what? Because we're at war with the Danes, I'm going to hurry out a couple of spearmen here, because once they're parked on these barracks, they will actually generate 10 experience per turn, which means they will slowly level up. So building these barracks and parking military units on them are actually quite economic in terms of setting up future military adventures. I'm going to build a Shrine of Medir here, and I'm going to move my militia that's defending Agilus up to this tile, and I'm going to attack this barbarian marauder. I may also come in here. I can't build my dumped warrior yet. Do I want to try to get a spearman and rush it out. I think I might rush a spearman in the capital here. And I feel safe rushing in the capital because rushing does produce discontent. It upsets your city. However, this city is losing discontent, which is fabulous. Yeah, let's get that spearman or this settler down. All right, we're looking good. I'm feeling really good, right? I really like this map because it's like forest nothing, but in old world. And I kind of love that conceptually. There's something conceptually just beautiful about that. So we discovered rhetoric. Now this is going to give us access to the forum. And there are 4 levels of forum. There's forum 1, which gives you a little bit of civics. Then there's the forum 2, which gives you a little bit of civics. There's the forum 3, which gives you a little bit of civics. And the forum 4, which gives you a little bit of civics and a little bit of happiness. That's crucial right there. Pretty cool. Let's see, we can raise a militia, or we can refuse. We can raise 2 militia in Sabbat and start the ambition to enact volunteers. Volunteers requires manor, which is a pretty expensive technology. It's a 600 science technology when we're making 16 per turn. That's a lot. I think we're just going to avoid raising tensions to improve our relationship with Carthage. My second in line can become a scholar. That's exactly what I wanted him to be. So I'm going to make him a scholar. That'll get us that science per turn. There's a potential trader in my midst. Kalina the Slothful, my distant successor. We're going to trail her. The head of the Agoth family has been a thorn in my side, so I can prosecute her. She has been a little bit indiscreet. I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what? I don't give a damn if you've been indiscreet. All right, my general has leveled up. I think we'll take the herbalist action. Lets you heal your units much faster. Very useful. We want to get this settler into position, and I want to settle on the eastern side as far east as possible so we can expand the city itself to the west. So we're almost there. Perfect. And Sabbat is ready to build a thing. I'm going to get a second spearman. This spearman is parked here now. And so every turn, this guy will get 10 experience for sitting on the barracks, which will make it cheaper to promote him. And once this reaches 0, he'll be able to promote without using up an action, which is really excellent. We could get a free onagers. Onagers are amazing. Or I get the archery range, which will allow us to get even more training, but would cost wood. Horsemen and horse archers are good. I could go straight for temples, which would give us tolerance and orthodoxy. You know what? I'm down to rush temples. Let's do a temple rush. Sounds like a mobile phone game. Temple rush. All right, spearmen here is ready to promote. Spearmen are quite good. This is an all-around 5% combat per boost. I do like tough. Means you're stronger if you're damaged. That cost me nothing except an order to upgrade. All right, which workers are available? My settler has already moved. You're here. Let's get one more quarry. Excellent. And then what are you doing? Do I want to rush this disciple? No, we'll let that slowly build. We can have a governor for Kahido. Anyone who's pretty young? The 27-year-old judge here who likes me. Yeah, you could be in charge of that city. Let's go. Boom. It's always good to have someone being a governor, an acting governor in a city. Always, 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 always. My grandson's old enough to be tutored. My granddaughter's got some... Okay, there's some stuff happening. I'm now known as the Good. That's halfway to the Great, by the way. The Great is plus 100 legitimacy. And you gotta get... Basically, you gotta get 100,000 points based on all of these things, right? So staying alive is worth 100 points per year. Killing units is worth 200 points. Promoting units is worth 100 points. Training units is worth 100 points. Discovering technologies is worth 500 points. So all these things, right, are worth different amounts. But I'm now known as the Good. That's a 50 legitimacy boost. That's really great. Oh, we finished the 4 shrines legitimacy. Menelik, why don't you become a tactics student? So I can control 5 naval units or reveal 40% of the land. I don't think I'm going to be able to do either of these. So I'm going to go ahead and just take the experience. Not because ambitions are bad, but because failing ambitions is bad. Okay, I want you to step over here, and I want to build another barracks, because that will actually get me more orders per turn, because it's adjacent to this stronghold building. This white worker, I'm going to pop in here and add a road there so that we can get back to Sabbat faster. All right, settler, step on here. Can I reveal resources? So we've got lots of furs. These are built with camps. Is there anyone here that boosts camps? No. We don't have hunters. Let's see, do we want to go for a champion? Do we want to go for the Tigrayan clerics? Or do we want to go for the patrons? There's no precious resource here, so I don't think we need that. I'm going to go with the champions. Keep the champions happy. This could be a good military. Also, this city is right on the... Oh, the Carpathian Mountains. Nice. This city is right on the edge. I haven't seen any hills collapse. I'm really curious. These tumbling mountains should be disappearing over time, but I have not seen it happen. All right, Kohito is ready. I think getting a farmer, again, this is worth 1 science per turn. Very valuable. It's also worth 2 growth, a little bit of food. It helps our city out. We'll grab that. This city definitely needs 2 workers. You always need a couple of workers to get a city kick-started. You can step a tile to the right. Well, actually, I don't need to do that because I can step a full tile this way and begin healing with you. All right, built the Shrine of Mahrem. This worker over here needs to continue healing until we really make use of him. Shrines are always good to build. The Shrine of a Star. Let's grab that so that we can unlock more of these nice quarry tiles adjacent to mountains. Quarries love being near mountains. You get more stone out of them. So this spearman, I'm going to press shift space to tell it to go to sleep. This spearman here, I'm going to tell him to go to sleep. And then with my militia, I'm going to pop this barbarian tribal unit. I think I'm going to clean up the Scythians before I clean up these barbs over here, or even the Danes. So that's going to be my next objective with this spearman here. I may even send might even send a second spearman over to help this out. I think that could be really good. We do have a road to get a unit out here. God, this game, I just love this game so much. It's so good. Carthage is 15 points ahead of me. Or rather, is on 15 points and ahead of me, rather. Not 15 points ahead. That would mean they were on a lot more points than they currently are. Baria, some rebels have risen up in this city. That's why it's good to have military units hanging around. Times are changing. Let's do an offering to the old gods. I think that can be important to maintain a relationship with the elder gods, as they can get a little bit, they can get a little bit stroppy if you don't, you don't send sacrifices on a regular basis. Let's move 1 tile to the left with this worker because we have a plan to execute. We'll build ourselves a little farm right here. We're going to build a sort of fidget spinner of farms and granaries. All right, you were heading up here for work on Sabbat. There is a rebel spearman standing on our garrison. However, because he's not our unit, they don't get the combat strength boost from being on the garrison. So we can attack here and just smash him. All right, this worker is still hurt, so I'm going to give you a little heal. And this worker took a hit, so we'll keep healing them. It's good to keep your units healed, in my opinion. Let's turn off that resource display. It's making them screen all messy. All right, Spearman, I need you to wake up because you're actually going to be heading over here to help clear out the Scythians. Great thing is, the game constantly unfolds and provides you with new challenges, right? The second I deal with these Scythians over here, I'm going to have to deal with the Danes and the other barbs, and then the mountains are going to be tumbling away, and I'm going to have to fight these other players. And maybe I fight them because they decide to attack me, or maybe they're going to win the game and I need to attack them to try to avoid it. Oh, my grandson. He's ill. Oh. So the Prophet Mani is fighting with his tutors. So my son can become intelligent or insane. I can pay for additional tutoring or back slowly away. Listen, I'm all for rolling that dice, baby. Intelligent or insane, let's have some fun. So Agilus here has finished building, I believe it was our Zoroastrian disciple. Oh, we can establish some different things here. So Zoroastrianism can have 3 tiers of bonus theologies. So we can either go with mythology, which will increase the spread chance of Zoroastrianism and gives extra culture to shrines and monasteries and makes Zoroastrianism like polytheism, which is the direction we want to go. We can also go with veneration. All right, phone call completely stun locked me and I forgot what the hell I was doing. I think we were talking about which tier of belief do we want to establish for Zoroastrianism. Now, we're not in control of Zoroastrianism. This religion actually belongs to the Kushites, but they can't stop us from putting beliefs in here. And it could be. Now, this will use up this the specialist, but it would allow us to get a lot of extra culture from shrines. And shrine culture, really damn good. So I think I'm quite tempted, especially because this is going to mean that we're able to go polytheism a little bit easier. I'm going to establish mythology here. Now, the other thing is there's 3 tiers of beliefs. So the next one might be revelation. These are your sort of tier 2 theologies. And then you got your tier 3 theologies, which has to do with... but definitely I'm quite happy to go with mythology here for Zoroastrianism. We've got like 2 holy cities in our religion, by the way. We've got the holy city for Aksumite paganism and the holy city for Manichaeism. So I've got a lot of religion to play around with. Agilus here has grown. Now remember, our focus was on science, and we did kind of have to do some weird stuff with the Zoroastrian disciples. If we want science, probably the best thing to do is to build some basic specialists. And the culture from building apprentice acolytes is incredibly powerful. It's 2 culture, 2 science here. It also improves the opinion of Aksumite paganism. That doesn't sound like much, but keep in mind, the more that this religion likes us, every person that follows this religion will like us more as well. With the exception of the leader of the religion, right? I'd also like to expand down to these groves, because there's a great monastery in between these 2 groves, like truly brilliant monastery right there. So building a miner on this gems tile, or this would also give us access to the luxury of gems by building it on this. So the culture and gold from building that specialist is awesome. And then we can get closer to setting up a really great monastery in between these 2 groves eventually. So yeah, I'll take that specialist. It's only 1 science per turn from these rural specialists, but they're still pretty good. Okay, we still have enemies at the gates in Sabat. And the trapper gives... what do camps do again? They boost lumber mills. I definitely want to keep some of this lumber around here. I don't necessarily want to build granaries. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 lumber mills adjacent to a shrine right here. So the shrine in Madir would eventually actually benefit a lot from being on this tile. So I'll build the shrine in Madir right there. Get our shrines up. We got barracks coming in. Let's get this camp online. The camp will provide us with growth and food. Excellent. This worker here needs to be healed 1 more time. We've got 4 more orders to spend. I wish I hadn't built this manor here. It's in a kind of an awkward spot for what I want to do with this town. It's fine. It's just not ideal. We'll have to kind of have the urban tiles come down south this way, which is, again, fine. It's just not ideal. If I hold down control, I believe I can tell what I can build on each individual tile. So there's not a whole lot we can build at the moment. So, I think we'll pop over here and just build a mine for the sake of getting the extra iron per turn, keep our builders working. Ooh, actually, I changed my mind. I should save these orders for upgrading, healing, and moving my military units. Like this unit right here is ready for a free level up. You've got Marksman, you've got Eagle Eye, and you've got Steadfast. We could go for Combat, which gives you all around combat stats. I think I'll take that. And then I'm going to move this Spearman 2 tiles. I may even buy myself an order here to move you 3 tiles. And then the combination of these 2 Spearmans should be able to take on this Scythian camp pretty, I wouldn't say easily, but pretty competently. Oh, well, one of my people died. It was Gunhild, the Rising Star. People are converting to different religions. My wife is sick. My governor is ill. A bunch of people are dying. Yeah, my third in line just became insane. Insane is really bad, but it might be fun to play around with. I am now doomed. So doomed basically means this is my last turn that I'll get to play as King Caleb here. Gunhild was killed by the power-hungry prophet Mani. Mother jerk. Trees and houses alike, so there's a spark. We can spend money to fireproof. I think I will spend the stuff, or spend stone to fireproof. I got a foolish 4th in line. Hybris. Gain culture in Agilis or get a court scholar. Court scholars are great for science. I'm going to get wisdom for my daughter. She is a wise young woman. Agilis has grown, or rather Agilis has finished its production queue. There is something to be said for researching or for building festivals, as it will pump growth into the city, allowing us to get more specialists, which will allow us to get more science. On the other hand, it could be worth it to do things like building military units, right? For the purpose of parking them on these barracks to level them up. I could also build the Zoroastrian disciples. I think the best thing might be to actually we could build a forum. It's a lot of potential civics per year. I'm going to send gems to this city though, because I want that happiness and I want the culture. I love happiness and culture in my capital city. It makes it so that we could be really greedy with how we build it. Like we could rush out settlers and stuff like that. I might rush out a Zoroastrian disciple. The festival is good because it would let me get more specialists. I'm going to get the Zoroastrian disciple. If I can get good control of the Zoroastrian religion, it'd be kind of cool. Even if that does hurt my growth. No, I need the science. Never mind. I need the science. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the festival so I can get citizens and then get specialists. All right, I'm going to move over here. I'm going to build myself a mine so I can put a specialist here to spread to these resource tiles. And I will do the same thing right here. Both of these will be mine tiles. Hoping to expand. Okay, let's move this spearman forward. We're going to add a general, ideally someone quite young, Here's a nice hero, age 37, not ideal. A little bit older than is ideal for a leader of a military unit. This spearman has leveled up. Hill combat is not bad, so I'll take Highlander. And then you can go ahead and get some more experience, or you can get this kill. You've already attacked, I think. I have no orders, sorry. Let me buy an order and then kill with you. Perfect. We've got a minor wildfire. Thankfully, we were well prepared for it. I have died, and a flood has ended. So controlling 5 developing cities is now a legacy. Pretty much impossible for us, so we will fail it. Esmini the Blessed is followed by Good Luck. Soon after our coronation, so this is a succession event, we can improve relationship with, let's have it here. Ooh, so we could become friendly with the heir of Carthage while losing relationship with the leader of Carthage. We could also use this moment to upgrade our the science of this leader, right? He's got really good science already, but we could get even more. We're talking 5 science per turn right here from this upgrade, and get a random technology. I'm gonna take that random technology, and we got navigation. Awesome. So scouts can be automated. We have access to Byreme. We have access to a couple of new laws as well. Perfect. So my leader has died, so I can get a free law, seniority. I can change the succession laws. This will cause someone to be upset with me. Seniority would mean the oldest dynasty member of the family will always inherit. Or do I want to focus on my current law of succession, which it follows family lines? I don't really like seniority. I actually prefer the other way, but I don't mind if Duke Israel, who's like age 52, if he's disappointed in me. That's fine. It's not ideal because he is a governor, but he can be disappointed. So under her spell, my child, Prince Alameda, has found his wife to be, but she's a practitioner of magic. We can send his wife into exile, which would make Oligarch Garsamot, his head of the family Agor, become disappointed of us. But we would get a new wife, or we can have a chance to become cursed, and that oligarch would hold a favor from us, which would lower their opinion, but not quite as much. You know what? Let's have the marriage go ahead. So we can build a stele. I'm going to build a stele in our capital. That's going to give us a building that will improve the family opinion of this city and give a nice little boost to the stele and also lead to the grand stele. So, build a stele in Adulis. Thankfully, we were ready for this wildfire, so we're going to get a legitimacy boost because we had actually prepared preparations. I died in office. Okay, we will choose a new governor in a moment here, but look at that wildfire. Damn. Thankfully, we were prepared for that, so it ended up, we spent some resources and we got some legitimacy out of it. So the governor of this city, it should probably be me. Who's young? Let's see. I mean, I suppose I could make my son. Yeah, I think he's my heir, right? Let me have a look at my family tree. Yeah, I'll make my son, who's my heir, governor of this city. He will lower the growth, but he'll pretty much boost everything else. Damn, Zula's in. Well, all right, we built a farmer here, which is excellent. Exactly what we were looking for. And I think it would be good to actually build farmers on all these tiles because it is worth science. It's also worth growth, meaning we'll be able to grow this city nice and quickly. Farmers do set us up for success. So I might build a few farmers here. Can I build another granary? I cannot just yet. So instead, I will build another farm in preparation for that. Let's have a look. I have a worker here. It would be good for us to get our shrines. And I did want the city to expand north. So I'll start making some shrines here. This is a pasture tile, so the Shrine of Astaire does make sense to put right there. You have built us more shrines. Good job. And I'll build us a shrine of Becher here. Perfect. Nice line of shrines. These are urban tiles that will allow us to expand onto the nearby tiles. Yeah, look how fast. We got 35 science per turn. That's so much power. Really, really good. Love to see that kind of thing. Unfortunately, we just don't have much in the way of stuff that we can build right now. So let's focus our orders into military adventures. Jesus, that's a serious wildfire. I'm going to take Horsebane. Having a spearman with Horsebane is quite powerful. We make our way towards the Scythians. That should be the end of the turn. Governor of Kaihaito has died. Families are converting. I am doomed. I might be playing. Unlucky that Duke Menelik is an insane tactics student and not having a good time. So let's not decide on that law just yet. We've got a couple of things we want to deal with here. So I am a big fan of colonies. Now, serfdom is awesome. Yes, it makes your cities unhappy, but it only costs a tiny trickle of money and it gives you 5 orders per turn. 5 orders, that's like 50 legitimacy. That's amazing. I love colonies though because it allows me to convert. It allows me to have more efficient cities by converting neutral territory into my territory. So I love colonies as a law. Big fan of that. So we're going to pass that law. And I'm a big fan of epics because it allows us to get culture from fighting in military adventures. And having lots of laws passed also sets us up for a pretty strong legal code later on in the game. So that's all good. That did cost us a lot of civics, but it will be worth it. I promise you that. I'm going to add a general to you. Any young-ish? We got Princess Consort Kuname. Give you a little jab. And move up the Slinger. Excellent. So we spent a lot of orders dealing with this. Agilus is ready to grow, a pop. I want to get more Zoroastrian disciples, so we'll slowly work on that. Sabat is ready as well, and I want to expand more stone cutters because I would like to get the science of the civics and the stone per turn. Stone per turn, quite valuable. I haven't seen any mountains tumbling, which is something I have been kind of looking out for and have been excited to experience. I need to put a governor in here. I much prefer younger characters to be governors because they're more likely to level up. Duke Menelik can be tutored. I don't think I can afford it though. Yeah, I can't. Unlucky. So we can kill the delegation. We can build stellae. We can gain warriors. We can gain resources. I do like gaining the science. That's very nice. Wait. Oh, my father died. So I can gain culture in Agilus. I can gain happiness in Agilus. Or I can be asked to be left to my grief and gain a bunch of experience, which could kickstart me by leveling me up. I like the idea of being left to my grief. Yes, it's going to hurt my order income, but that's fine. We just got a strong culture event in Agilus, so we can gain a spearman and legitimacy, and Carthage would declare war on us. We can fund 4 rebels. We could fund the rebels. Oh wow, this would allow us to declare war on Carthage and get legitimacy. The legitimacy is awesome, but I don't want to be at war with Carthage. So I'm just going to fund the rebels, which would be a great way to be annoying to Carthage. We're going to build him a stele in Sabat. Duke Azaba is growing up. He's my second in line. I'm going to get him to study philosophy. Spearman attack. That's 10 culture. You step up, pop him. You step up, pop him. Perfect. Worker right here. A stele has been built. We definitely want to get this quarry online. Sorry. No, we want to build a mine here because this is salt, and salt is a luxury mining resource. We're going to move this worker in position so we can get the stronghold. That's an upgrade that will allow our unique unit and give us more orders per turn. And let's end the year. Let's keep on going. My wife is now head of the Aga family, so definitely want to keep her happy. So we could get calligraphy, which would give us happiness from elder specialists. It would cost us civics every year. That is pretty good. Now, calligraphy requires vaulting. And we can either do iconography, which makes monasteries, cathedrals, and temples better, or we could do calligraphy and get a boost of culture from our libraries. I kind of like this. That's kind of cool. Yeah, let's do calligraphy. It's a free law. So we can spread religion 4 times, control 2 dumped warriors, or control 2 elder monks. I'm going to go for the 2 dumped warriors. That's going to be the easiest one for us to do, as we are working immediately on a stronghold in Agilus. Let's move you forward. Schlock. 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 Perfect. The Scythians basically defeated. Let's quickly grow here. Put that to the front. The miner is more important. We want to spread the borders for the disciple. This city is now able to build stronghold. Stronghold requires 4 laws. So let's get the stronghold down in here. Remember, the stronghold is where it orders. It's always worth it to build your strongholds, at least in my opinion. You're chilling and making farms, the granary loop, and you're going to help us with the road when the time comes. All right, perfect. Another year. Like, that's the thing. When you have a strategy in mind, your turns are so simple. Like, you could do deep analysis. You could think for like an hour about every turn. But I don't like to do that kind of like, let's evaluate every possible decision that we could make this turn. I'm like, you know what feels good? I want to build a library. I might build a little library right there. So Duke Azaba, my second in line, is gaining +1 courage. That's very nice. Prince Menelik has been seen sparring. So there's a good chance that these guys will get a big boost and he'll become a hero. You know what? I'm going to make him a hero. Become a hero. Let's see. I'm going to influence for gold because I have a lot of gold. I can get a free theology boost for Zoroastrianism, and that's theology. So that's a tier 2 theology, enacting tolerance. Let's have a look. I would almost become intolerant. So if I take a look, at Zoroastrianism, which is our state religion. So Revelation gives you a lot more spread chance than the other ones, and it makes temples give orders. Dualism gives you less spread chance, but gives you signs from other religions being in the city, as well as happiness on your temples. And Gnosticism gives you 2 civics per year if it has an archive, or signs per year per urban specialist from your temple. Well, the orders from Revelation are insane. I don't necessarily know if that's what I want. I think I might try to force through Gnosticism. So while this event, in theory, we could plug in Revelation, which would make temples awesome, I might try to go for Tolerance. Now, Tolerance does require us to research Doctrine, but Doctrine is what we're researching, so I think I like that ambition. That lines up nicely with our plans. Let's move this slinger forward. We'll sling this unit here. We can show Tolerance. We would gain a happiness level. Ooh, okay, so this would upset the Aga in relation to polytheism, but I do not want them to be upset with polytheism, because that's what we want. So I'm going to take the one that doesn't set up bad events or bad relationships for me. All right, let's kill this cavalry unit as well. Boom, we get that nice culture boost as well as experience. Kahaito is ready to grow Haito. We could do a festival to force growth. I think what I'll go for is a quick forum to get the extra civics boost. Civics is definitely an area where we're struggling a little bit. We're spending a lot of civics across my empire, so now we're slightly losing it because we're not getting any from our cities. You have a look. Who's the most important worker to move right now? Probably this guy. Let's get our garrison in Zula. We want to have a governor. We want to get our barracks up. We want to do all that stuff. Start moving our urban tiles to the left here. You want to get over here and build your stronghold. Does the stronghold require higher culture level? I do not remember. Yeah, it requires a higher level of culture. So we can't build that yet, actually. So cancel you. We could build our shrines, though. And that's what we'll do. The shrine to Mahram. Boom. Then let's get you into position to start building roads. Roads on hills are twice as expensive, so do keep that in mind. We do need a settler for out here, and I don't think we've built one. My brother and heir has died. Menelik the Insane. Kind of glad about that. A lot of people are dying. He became inspiring, but he also died. So Nakaula, who is exploring, stumbled on a bunch of Axumites. She could become a ranger or become wounded. She could gain an unyielding banner. Oh, which means if the unit dies as the general is leading it, she would teleport to a different... Oh, hell yeah. Break free the Axumites. A murder has been hit. My heir has been killed. I think I gotta assassinate my aunt, dude. Hold on. Was this the lady? Who am I? That's me. I think we need to assassinate her. It's not very successful. Now, let's put an agent into Carthage. Garsamot the Younger. Oh, she's actually really good, though. She's got great stats. I should keep her in my empire. Sabas. Should I make another tier of treasury? Should I make another forum? I could make a festival. The Manichaean Disciple wouldn't be bad. We could start building temples and monasteries and cathedrals. Now, cathedrals, I think, you can only have 2 per family, so we can only ever have 6 cathedrals. They are really good, though. They give you legitimacy. It might be good to start building up our relationship with Manichaeism. So the Manichaean Disciple might not be a bad thing to build here. We also need a settler. I'm going to build a settler here. You can get to work on that for me. All right, we got a little road being built here. Oh, shoot, we could build an Acropolis if we had enough stone. That'd be pretty damn good if we could build it. Let's have a look at wonders. The Acropolis and the museum are available. Ooh, I do like the museum. It's expensive, though. All right, I'll build a farm here. I'll build a granary here. Start building up a food and growth network in Sabat. We can buy tiles now, so that's something worth considering, which will allow us to grow to things like this pasture. Although we can't actually do the pasture yet, it's fine. But it does mean we can expand along this river a little bit more comfortably using gold. That's why I'm a big fan of gold. Gold gives you a lot of flexibility in a lot of areas, mostly in terms of resources and expanding your empire. At least its borders. My spy master died. Got ahead of Axumite paganism. All right, a bunch of people are dying. That's all normal. So I can acquire, let's see. I can gain a golden tree. So I can give the fruits and seeds to the people, or I can acquire the harvest crown, which will allow granaries to spread borders when they're built. Oh, that's pretty cool. Agilus also got the golden tree, which gives growth. Hell yeah, let's do that. Let's see. So I can grab legitimacy, or I can continue taking a penalty to my orders, get a boost to my charisma, and keep gaining experience. That kind of is appealing. We'd be mourning for another 4 turns. Now, there is a chance that we become ill, so it is a bit of a risk, but I do like sticking to this. The 4th in line, who's 50% Danish. You could be a tactics. Oh my god. Manny wishes to go to the east. He could become exploring. This would upset him, but I would gain discipline. And that is super, super powerful. But him liking me ain't so bad. You know what? I don't care if he's a little upset with me. I'd rather get those stats. Let's choose a new spy master. I think someone young or someone with good stats, like Garsamot here. The most important stats for the spy master is probably courage and charisma. So courage and charisma is what we're looking for in terms of stats. Plus 20 family opinion is not bad. So I'll put Kalina into this role. She's quite old, relatively speaking, but I'm okay with that. Israel, my governor has leveled up. I can give him affable, which will increase the growth of the city. Equestrian or cultivator, which makes farms better. I'm going to go for affable though, because the growth will help me get that settler faster. Alameda, who is me, I have leveled up. I could get another point in wisdom, and that would really help me with research. So I'm going to take that point in wisdom. You guys are in neutral territory, so you can heal, right? This worker over here, you are in the process of adding road, good sir. I've got a worker in here. I'm going to pop over here. If I buy this tile, I get 1 tile. Okay. If I buy this tile, I get 2 tiles for 60, which feels a little better. There's not much I need to build down here. Why don't you come up here and add a road to make the moving units around my empire slightly easier. All right. Slinger into the city center. Spearman, you are going to go sleep on that tile, as is your job. Slinger, you're going to go into sentry mode. Militia, I'm going to bring you back up north. We're kind of just handling things and organizing things and moving units around, and getting them into positions, doing all the stuffs. Carthage has a truce with the Danes. A minister has died. God damn, so much happens. Apparently, I successfully assassinated Consort Gudit. No one suspects a thing. Awesome. So we've got a state religion, Zoroastrianism. We can make Carthage like us, or we can make Zoroastrianists like us. I'm going to go with Carthage liking us because that might be a little bit more useful in preventing warfare as these mountains tumble. Kohido developed a better culture. So we can get Christianity here, we can get Judaism, or we could get something else. Honestly, we're kind of a polytheistic people, so getting Christianity and Judaism in these cities might not be so bad. My heir, who is my brother, who I should probably almost certainly tutor, by the way. Why don't you get tutored by the prophet? So he could become a zealot. I do like zealots. Zealots are great. Or a schemer. Schemer suits him well. All right, you go into sentry, please. The road here is almost done. You should be able to start a new granary. Awesome. Wood is starting to get expensive, like real expensive. Now the next granary goes boom, boom, boom. If I could build a granary right here, if I could buy this tile, skadoosh, beautiful. So we'll set a granary up right there. I'll put a road here just for memes. A newfound faith. So my heir can convert to Axumite paganism, which is not bad. Or I could become intolerant, which sucks, and make him convert to Zoroastrianism. I'm going to let him just convert. I don't care. Listen, buddy, we are a tolerant people. You do what you want to do. We are chill about that kind of stuff. Daddy chill. My mom is contemplating the afterlife. My cousin is pious, so he's religious now. It's awesome. Okay, so Agilus has finished a Zoroastrian disciple. What do we want to do with that disciple? Let's have a click in here. Now, in theory, we could establish the next tier of theology, but that would cost us a lot of civics. I would maybe rather build a Zoroastrian monastery. It's worth 4 culture, 2 science per year. And the best place for one feels like it's right here. So I'm going to get this disciple down here. I'm going to hold down Alt so we can auto buy this wood and build this temple, or this monastery rather. Now, Agilus. Do we want to mint coins? Do we want to mint coins? Do we want to mint coins? There is something to be said for building forums, as that would boost our civics output. Inquiry is also quite good, as it would allow us to boost our science at the cost of civics. Recruiting military units, like I think we did want to build 2 dumped warriors, DMT warriors, so it might not be terrible to work on these for a little while. We could even boost them along, you know? But yeah, spending 16 turns fulfilling an ambition in our capital doesn't seem so bad, considering we can park these on these barracks and start getting levels on them. Kahito has finished its Forum 1. Do I want to build my Forum 2? Do I want to build this hunting camp here? That's Honestly, that's actually a really attractive proposition here. 2 growth, 1 science, 10 food. That's great. I've got a ton of workers hanging around. You want to build a granary. Damn, we are hungry for wood. But that granary will allow us to grow faster. We also want farms beside these granaries. We're kind of building this nice river granary setup. All right, let's have a look. What do we got? Going to choose a governor for Zula. Garsamat the Younger is quite, well, young, believe it or not. So we'll put her in charge. We're going to choose an agent for Carthage. I'll put Duke Usanas, who's one of the newest characters. He's 3rd in line, but he can go do that. Spymaster can be sent on a mission. Do treachery against Carthage. Yeah, let's go ahead and infiltrate Carthage. That seems like a good one. And Prince Azaba can be tutored. I don't have the orders to do this. I do have the training to buy the orders. And I think I'll tutor him myself because it's kind of fun. He spent a lot of orders. We've got a lot of workers sitting still. That's fine. I like this map. I really like this kind of chill. My mom died. I like this kind of chill map. Got a new head of the religion. My cousin lost some wisdom. That's fine. My aunt, who I believe is exploring, she could enter Thapsus, which would reveal the tiles. She could become ill. She could become a pathfinder. Or she can return home. I'll say enter Thapsus. That sounds like fun. Something has gone wrong on her travels. She needs to come home. She needs to fend for herself. She would go missing. There you go. Return home. And she has leveled up. She's a little bit upset with me. Mostly because I'm a zealot, she's a scholar, and she is of the wrong religion, but that's fine. I'm thinking, what are you? You're a zealot, so you're a great leader of a military unit. I think if I give you even more courage, you'll be better at that again. So I have a worker over here. Again, I don't really have a whole lot of jobs I can give these workers as it currently stands. We're kind of hitting a tech problem. I will build a mine on these gems, because the more luxuries we have, the better. You have built the garrison improvement, so go ahead and get me started on a barracks right there. And you're also in the process of adding a road. The city will now be linked up to the network. My network is starting to look really comprehensive. We've got a nice coverage across the map. The spearman's ready to level up. Herbalist is a decent tanking ability, but I think just taking guard on melee units, guard is quite a useful ability in my opinion, because it means they have a better time holding tiles. So what way do we want to build these granaries? You don't want granaries to be adjacent to each other, but I'm thinking like farm, granary, granary. Nice little loop. Whoops, that wasn't what I wanted to do. I want to put you here. I want you to build the farm. You're going to build a farm here. Wood is starting to get expensive. Stone is already expensive. I don't really have a job for you. I'm surprised by how few hills I am seeing tumble. I thought these were meant to tumble. Maybe they do. Maybe they're tumbling just quite slowly. Let's take this mercenary spearman and start marching him towards the Danish homeland. It's going to be the next place that we go take out. We are at war with them. Awesome. The prophet tutored someone. I am no longer mourning, and I'm known as the ambitious. Nice. Azaba has been especially drawn to each other. So Hypatia the chaste. So I can invite her to my court. I could implement philosophy. Now, normally in order to implement philosophy, you need to unlock architecture, and then you're going to choose between philosophy and engineering. I do like philosophy. That seems quite good. Hypatia is awesome, but getting philosophy as a free law feels really good. I'm going to grab that. It's going to help us with our science in the long run. So encouraging competition is always nice. I think encouraging self-confidence is good because you'll become a zealot. The problem is becoming a rising star is amazing, but the chance to become bitter sucks. I kind of love it though. I kind of love gambling. I have a problem. I am the problem. Become a problem. All right, let's move over here. We're going to grab ourselves the barracks. I love building up a lot of excess training in my cities. It always feels really nice. Agilus, have you grown? I want to start getting apprentice officers. Yeah, there's nothing I really want to build with you, is there? I suppose I could come here and just cut a tree. Oof. So we lost some legitimacy, but we did get the territory of Carthage, and I have tutored Prince Azaba, giving him some discipline. It was really good. Although he did become bitter, which is not so good. And this other guy became a rising star, which makes him better in all sorts of ways. Let's have a look. We could hire a master philosopher, which would make my queen smarter, giving me some science and making the spearman that she's leading stronger. Or she would be upset. You know what? I have so much money, I'm willing to spend it. We will need a new general for that slinger, but we're not going to do it just yet. Okay, Sabat, you completed a settler for me. Let me grab that settler and start sending it out to this new city area. Now, did we have the philosophy law? So it is good if we build the forum, because it is worth 1 science per turn in every city we have the forum. So now we kind of want to prioritize that. Agilus has grown. I can get myself an apprentice officer, and I will, and I'm going to put it to the top of the queue because this apprentice officer will actually speed up how quickly these warriors get trained, because he produces training, and it might even be worth it to train him all the way up to a master officer or even an elder officer, which again will delay the DMT warriors, but all future warriors will come a lot faster. We also want to get the forum because that's +1 science per turn, and that's something we're really, we're finding really important. So this is where like trying to get enough production and all these sorts of things into the city starts to become it's a difficult consideration. Spending a lot of money. Let me sell some food, and I'll sell some stone as well, because we ran low on money. We were spending it faster than we were earning it. Let's grab ourselves a farm right here. I'm going to step forward a tile. Let me undo. Yeah, if I buy this tile, I will actually get a few tiles, which is nice. I don't think I can build a 3rd granary yet. I could surround this in farms. I don't know if we necessarily want to do that just yet. I do think we're ready for the next level of stronghold. So let's just cut the trees. I'll buy an order and clear the land in preparation for next turn. Then we'll go to the next turn. I hope you're kind of seeing like how all your decisions chain together in this beautiful, complex dance. And I'm just having so much fun on this kind of map where it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about, war being declared on me so quickly, because I'm just chilling. I'm having a great time. There is a tribal raid from the distant lands near Zula. We've discovered doctrine, which gives us access to temples and some new laws, in particular tolerance. The king of Carthage has died. A whole bunch of people have updated in our country. So near Zula, a young woman has arrived in Agilus because we're at war with the Danes. I can gain a spearman in Agilus or a court soldier. Court soldier is quite nice. We'll grab him. So Adana the soldier has joined. I can let her become a barracks instructor, although it'll upset her if I don't. So I'll let her become a barracks instructor because that could lead to better events. Now this is a problem for us. I believe you are my mercenary spearman. This is my non-mercenary spearman. I'm going to start bringing you down to Zula, and I'm going to get this slinger out here to defend this city. And I'm going to give it the warden promotion because I want it to be strong at defending. So it's good against tribal units, which what these are. If I also get it the warden promotion, it'll be even stronger on the offense and defense. So I could get an orders boost, which is 20 orders. I could get metaphysics, which would give us access to being able to convert people. We would have access to the High Synod. We would get archives, which allow us to turn civics into science. Citizenship is also great because it allows us to get courthouses. I am a big fan of metaphysics. This will allow us to get the archives. Archives are incredible, so I'm looking forward to that. We are going to see off-map barbarians coming now on a semi-regular basis. It's something that is just going to start happening that we need to be aware of and ready for. All right, this settler's on his way. Move you again. The Zoroastrian disciple. Now, if I remember correctly, if you just chill on a tile, you generate extra resources, if I recall correctly. The way I can tell this is in here. Yeah, if he is sitting on a monastery, he produced +1 science per year, which is pretty good. So in theory, if that is accurate, when I move you, yeah, we generate 1 less science. So if I undo that, so having a disciple sitting on a monastery is quite good in terms of science production. Now, it's saying I should build a temple here. Now, temples like to be near monasteries, but they don't have to be. But yeah, I definitely want the temple. The temple will allow us to improve Zoroastrian opinion. It'll give us extra culture, orders. It'll cost us some stone, but I do think the temple is always worth building. Super fantastic stuff. Well, let's go to our next turn. We're out of orders. Yeah, this raid. Thankfully, it is. I mean, these are elite skirmishers, but they're not the strongest, most dangerous units in the entire game. They're gonna hurt my workers, which makes me sad. That's 4 units. That's way more than I was expecting. Oh, that's 5 units. That is way more than I was expecting. I was expecting 4 units at most. That was a 6-unit barb raid. Governor of Sabat has died. People are converting to religions. Temple priests claim the gods are angry at us because Sabat has high gain rebels. I'm not blessed. I'd have to sacrifice wood to become blessed. You know what? Fine. I need a new governor here. Honestly, this guy's quite young. He'll develop into a great leader if I park him in there. Yeah, holy crap, dude. You need to... I might need to rush out a unit here. Yeah, I need to get these units down in support. It's pretty much all I have within a reasonable number of order range. Sabat, your discontent is getting quite high. It's not the end of the world, though. It could be good for us to build some Manichaean disciples. It could be good for us to build some military units. I might grab myself 2 extra slingers to park on these fortress tiles, because strongholds do give you combat strength defensively. All right, worker. I think you're going to get... I think you need to retreat to fully healed range and maybe get turned into a militia. How fast can I get this militia here? I could probably get him here in a couple turns. We should be okay if I can get him. Yeah, I'm gonna have to dedicate a lot of my orders towards moving military for a turn or two, but that's okay. That's totally fine. Yep, the city is taking damage, but we do have spearmen in range to support. So this is what I'm talking about, how the game kind of unfolds and constantly offers you new challenges. And you're constantly balancing like, God, how many units can I really command around the map? Okay, I can get a spearman to this tile, poke this horse, and then get that kill. Remember, every unit that is dead is a unit that cannot attack. There is a worker on this tile, keep you healed. This spearman will be in position to assist next turn as well. Kahaito has built a trapper. I definitely wanted to build these farmers. So I'm thinking if I get these up, that'll give me a really strong growth line in here. I mean, this city already has super strong growth, but I like leaning into that even more. So that's what I'm going to do. Keep getting these farmers. Get a nice growth zone here. Settlers getting closer. Thank you, workers. Don't necessarily want to move you. You do want to build a farm there. You do want to build a granary there. Would love to surround this with mines or something. Let's build that stronghold. That's worth an order per turn. Well, 0.7 of an order per turn. I want urban tiles to kind of snake their way up through here to give this city room to breathe, because it doesn't have a whole lot of room to breathe. This city has no room to breathe. Also, I want farms. Yeah, the estates are eating up. The estates are like, I mean, now this family really likes me, but that does also mean that they are eating up our training capabilities in this city. In exchange, I might add, for culture and happiness, which is, don't get me wrong, fantastic. But it is just, it's worth noting. Right, apprentice officer, that should overflow into this guy. We'll see some officers be finished. Let's have a look. So this is my agent in a different land. We could do treachery in Carthage. Why are you upset? Because I'm at war with the Danes. God damn it. We could do treachery here. Get him experience. It's expensive. 500 gold and 2 orders. You get the hell out of Carthage. I don't know if it's worth it to do treachery. I don't have the orders to move units up, so we're just going to have to try to defend this with the 3 units that we have. All right, we've discovered metaphysics, which has unlocked a lot of really useful things. So we could get engineering law, but we do like philosophy. We do like philosophy. Philosophy does give us that urban specialist production time. I'm going to say nope. So I can become unpopular. I can change the air. This might make me stressed, but I'm willing to live with being stressed to preserve my line of succession. Okay, I need to get my spearmen up. Poke these nerds in their stupid faces and try to get these kills. So why don't you zip on forward and become a militia to protect this town. You can convert your workers into militia, which is a game mechanic that I genuinely love. We're going to zip on down here. Now, we don't want to settle another one of these cities. We kind of want to spread out. Might be a good cleric city. Cleric cities don't mind being near sand. You can build urban improvements on sand, which ain't so bad. Let's see, what are you harvested with? With farms. What are you harvested with? Lavender, groves. These guys do like monasteries and temples, which means you want to have them near groves. So I'm going to do a cleric city right here. Boom. In terms of research, given a lot of really hard choices here. Odeons are incredible for culture. Hamlets are incredible for gold. They allow you to convert food into gold. Ambassadors are useful. Camel archers would be incredible. I'm going to go for the Odeon. We've got a developing culture event in Zula. The governor could become better at training units, better at science. I'm going to go for better at training units because we are actually training slingers there. Natural progression of a brand new city is to always get 2 workers in it, in my opinion. You need workers to develop the city. 2 workers feels like a good minimum per city, and that number will grow as they need more tile improvements. Yeah, we're a little bit stretched for orders. We have a lot of idle workers right now. Partially it's due to the number of orders that are being soaked up by this the defense of Zula. I should probably repair the damage in here because it will heal 3 of the health of the city, buying me time for the slinger to tank. 3 health isn't an overwhelming amount, but it does help. Okay, the general of my spearmen died, which is unfortunate. A royal in-law is upset that we're turning our back on the gods. Oh, I could spend wood. You know what? I'm going to do a big old feast. Hell yeah, big pyre of offerings to the old gods. We do not want to lose our old ways. So if I move you down a tile, you will actually be able to get a pass-through attack. And then if you poke this guy, we'll be able to get a kill. And then this militia can do work. All right, good. We're winning this battle. It's just order's expensive, right? It's absorbing a lot of our command resources to win this battle. I'll move this militia up. Even though the battle's already over, we may as well. Okay. Oh, undo that. Let's move you to here. Build a farm. Move you to here. Build a farm. Move you to here. And build a farm. So we've got a bunch of farms coming in. This city's going to make a ton of food. A lot of farmer potential. City's kind of like a line. You got rural stuff going off in different directions. I'm not going to rush this one. I might rush the elder officer. My spy master can be sent forward. Yeah, I think we're good. I'm going to build a shrine. First, I'll need to cut these scrubs down. I'm out of orders. God damn. Yeah, I'm like, you go through periods in the game, man. Sometimes you have all the orders in the world, and then sometimes you have no orders. And right now, I feel like I have no orders. So we've discovered drama. Perfect. So now we can build the Odeon, which is a great way for us to get culture. And also, it actually starts the music of the game. You have to research drama for the game to have any music. By the way, our brother, heir, is dying. Am I married? I should be married. So we built the Zoroastrian temple. We could lose stone and all of our Zoroastrian cities gain a boost. You know what? A little bit of stone, a little bit of boost. So we get iconography. So what is iconography? Let's have a look at the laws. I do not see it. What was that? So we can either do iconography or calligraphy. Now we went with calligraphy. We could switch to iconography, which would make our monasteries be military recruitment locations, make our cathedrals happiness, and our temples trading. Now, it would prevent non-state religion spread, which I don't love, and I do like the culture from the library. So, if we do this, we'll see some nice boost, right? If we refuse, we'll upset Christianity. I don't give a damn about Christianity, okay? You shut your goddamn mouth and know your place. We get a free court scholar. We could research these one-turn texts to sort of shuffle the deck again. I do like the idea of getting aristocracy. If we take a look at the tech tree, you can see aristocracy will actually lead to sovereignty and also towards machinery. So I think grabbing aristocracy is not bad. Let's go ahead and research that. All right, so we've got a battle going on down here. So Spearman Poke. Kuname is my wife and is leveled up. I can get her Heckler, Herbalist, or Ranger. I'm gonna go with Ranger. She's gonna be good at fighting in trees. You poke that guy, you shoot that guy, you pop in here, kill him, you zip over and stab. Great. Pretty much cleared that up. I'm gonna build a shrine of Beher. I'm gonna work her over here. So Odeons work really well when they're complemented with villages. You can see here, I don't know how to show this. If I move to this tile and I go to build an Odeon, you can see they get a bonus from being near hamlets, but I think just getting our culture going is actually kind of just important. And they are very expensive. Like the Odeon costs 60 stone plus 2 stone per year. The theater costs 60 stone plus 3 stone per year. And then the amphitheater costs 80 stone and 4 stone per year. So you're looking at like 9 stone per year to get like 12 culture per year. But it is really damn good to get these up. They're very, very strong. The question is, should I build those first, or like the consumption of stone in my empire is about to skyrocket? So I think I should yeah, 'cause we're going to start using stone like at a voracious rate, both like to start construction, but also as a maintenance resource. So you have Highlander. If you're going to be defending tiles, Herbalist is a great way for you to heal, to minimize the number of turns that you're kind of like out of action. Now, again, these Zoroastrian disciples, if he's sitting on a temple, he's getting me happiness. Now, I don't remember what happiness levels do. Happiness levels give you a 5% growth boost and minus 5% maintenance costs. That's great. I think I would like to spread my religion. So, well, it's not even my religion, it's just religion. But I'm going to get it over to Kohaito. We can just start getting our monasteries and temples up, and we're up to 66 science per turn, which feels really damn good. All right, new head of Christianity. He's angry with me. Acts of my paganism. My brother is ill, but he's recovered. All right, let's heal you. Let's repair damage in the city twice to get it back up to full. Cities produce stuff slower when they're damaged. Get this kill. Step forward with you. Get this kill. Perfect. I'm going to park 2 militia in this city on sentry because it's a border city, so it's going to need it. And then this worker will get healed up. We'll need new workers in here. I'll queue that up. All right, Kohaido. Should I keep getting you growth? I mean, you have been succeeding nicely off of that growth. It might be time to get archives. It might be time to get the forum. I can boost it for gold, and I will. All right, you pop over here. I need you to start building like the Odeons. You pop over to Kohaido. Spread that religion. We got a little Zoroastrianism spreading here. Perfect. I'll park this slinger on this tile and tell him to go sentry. This city's well defended against the Danish invasion. Now that the orders aren't being absorbed by this army over here, I might try to move out these units to go north and clear the Danes. It's turned 69. And we haven't even really cleared much out. So we've discovered aristocracy. Our spy master has died. My aunt and uncle have given birth. There's a new head of Christianity. More people are converting to Axumite paganism. Let's choose a new spy master. Ooh, Zoskales the Rising Star could be really good. That's a lot of happiness per city. What is he, a scholar? Yeah, he's not bad. I'll make him a spy master. In terms of ambassadors, so the ambassador, the important stats for ambassador is actually wisdom, in my opinion, because that culture per city really adds up. So I like finding someone with good wisdom. So here's go. Duchess Consort Nikanta here. 0.6 culture per city is quite good. And the religion opinion ain't that bad. So I'll pop her in there as my ambassador. That little trickle of culture is going to be good. I could get a free settler here. That's not bad. I think instead I want to get polis, being able to build hamlets now. One of the big things that we were running into is the lack of science meant that we didn't have any tile improvements to build with our units. Now, this spearman has tough and steadfast, so I'm going to get him ranger, so he's good at fighting in trees. I like terrain-based promotions. Big fan of those, really. Kohaido, I don't even remember what the hell you built. You built a forum and we pushed it through. We could start pumping science in here. Again, we don't actually need that. We could go for the minor and get another luxury and start, you know, building up another city to have really high happiness. We could also get a Zoroastrian disciple in here. It'll only take 1/3, and this is actually one of those cities that is really good at making religious units, because I believe this is the religious seat for, yeah, they get a family seat. They produce disciples faster. So that would be a really good build right there. So I'm thinking like archery range, citadel. Unfortunately, the estate is in the way, kind of in an annoying position. Maybe like Odeon here. Odeon, amphitheater, hamlet, something like that. So start getting culture in the capital. We want that culture. We definitely want to get our barracks up. The barracks are still super important because they make your military units in these cities omega efficient. There's still not a whole lot that we need or want to build as it currently stands. Not a lot we need to build in the capital, so I could send you to go get me roads. That is what I will do. Okay, I failed the legacy, which does hurt my legitimacy. It's not the end of the world. We can gain 100 science. 100 science isn't that worth that much, but +1 legitimacy is pretty good, and we don't care about the relationship with Carthage that much. Damn. So we could lose some charisma. I don't like that. I would much prefer to gain a scholar point. If I give her money, oh, I could gain experience here. I do like stealing experience for no cost. Then I can upgrade my wisdom again. Oh, baby. All right, these units are healed. Kohaido, you built me a Zoroastrian disciple. Get me another one of those bad boys. So I'm thinking, if I build a monastery here, I could put the temple right there. I'm thinking, if the game works the way that I remember, I don't have the money for the wood. The wood is starting to get, like, outrageously expensive. So I'm going to have to sell quite a bit of food to afford this. Wood tends to get expensive in my games. All right, let's keep getting those quarries up. We need so much stone to sustain the Odeons that we're going to be building. All right, let me bring a slinger back to Kohaido. That's where you belong. You want to be in your family cities, because I believe units perform better inside their family cities. So they're best stationed in their own locales. We've discovered polis. We can now build hamlets. Excellent. We've got the secrets of the dead. Patriarch of Manichaeism will become vengeful against me, but the religion will like me, or I can keep this secret and he becomes loyal. I mean, Manichaeism doesn't even really like me that much, but this guy's old and gonna die, so I think it would be better if the religion liked me. Even if this hurts my relationship with this in the short term, the religion liking me is better. I think I would like to get my ranges up. The other thing that I really need is forestry for lumber mills. I need to get those lumber mills out. So let me have a look. Techs here. Yeah, forestry is in my discard pile at the moment, which is not ideal. I will grab composite bows so I can start building my ranges. They're like the ranged equivalent for, they're the ranged unit equivalent of barracks. So they're good for training military units. They're good for your units, all that sort of stuff. Add a nice little road right there. You were popping in here to build the Shrine of Midir. Perfect. And I do think that Odeons right here are in order. We love the Odeon. We love the culture. I'll zip over here and I'll build myself a little hamlet. Hamlets like to be on your trade network. So I'll build a hamlet here. They do eventually grow into villages and towns. So they will use a lot of food, but they do output a lot of growth and gold. So I do think that the hamlet is a great investment in your worker time. We have warnings for wildfires, so we do need to be careful about vegetation in our empire catching fire, and you know, we got these big potential crises brewing. Okay, Christianity has a new head and somebody converted to Aksumite paganism. I can lose some orders but not change any opinions. I will. Or I could make the Barrier like me more at the cost of other relationships. I will do that. Sometimes trading relationship points is the right call. All right, Kohaido. You made me another disciple. I think 2 disciples is a good number. Walls is both a defense and a happiness building. I want to save civics. Everything I want to do takes civics though. That's the big problem I have. Let's grab some more workers. The city has such good growth. We can crank out workers here for rapid development. Okay, Sabat has a fully developed defensive military, which I'm really happy about. I'm going to build a forum. Yes, it'll cost me civics in the short term, but it will pay out civics in the long term. Let's spread Zoroastrianism to Zula. I'll improve my relationship with this religion. It's good to spread your religion. I know technically Zoroastrianism isn't my religion, but it's fine. It belongs to someone else. We've adopted it as our state religion. That makes it still worth it to do this. All right, this spearman needs a general. Age 21. Bazin the Younger. Boom. This slinger needs a general. Prince Azaba. One of my governors is wanton, so he's a horny boy. My uncle has lost some confidence. Unlucky. Now let's see. Omen Swirl. So I could say, perhaps the world ends, or perhaps a feast before the slumber was not my wisest choice. So I can gain discipline or courage. I prefer discipline. I like gold. We've got a tragedy. We finished an Odeon, so we can gain a courtier. We can gain culture. Or we can improve our relationship with paganism. I'm going to hire the poet. Gaining courtiers is awesome. Plus, we're now known as the Brilliant. Zoroastrian and priest to send a delegation. So have a Zoroastrian council. That would mean having everyone on my council be Zoroastrianism. I'm going to say no to that ambition because it doesn't align with my gameplay goals. Let's march you forward. We'll march you forward. March you forward. I'm going to send a Zoroastrian disciple over here to spread Zoroastrianism in Sabat. So every city now has Zoroastrianism, which is ideal. It's what we were looking for. We finished an Odeon. That's giving us culture per turn. We're going to zip on over here and we're going to get started on that theater. That's 4 culture and 1 happiness. Beautiful. Yeah, I need you to keep buying these tiles so we can keep getting these stone quarries. We're out at orders. We've got 120 legitimacy, which is great. That's keeping these families quite happy. One of the really interesting things that Old World has managed to do is it makes your later turns feel really impactful. Each turn feels roughly as impactful as previous ones. Okay, there's a wildfire, all sorts of stuff is happening. So we can get peace with the Danes, or we can upset the Barians. No, I can gain science, I can become superstitious, and divine. This would hurt my science, but it would massively increase my civics, and I do like the idea of increasing my civics. Also, the divine ability is quite good. Also, holy shit, that's a hell of a wildfire. I do love the graphics. Damn. Oh, they worked hard on that. Now, I want to build a temple right here, because this temple should boost the adjacent monastery, which is nice. Let's get that temple down. And good worker, go ahead and get me the stronghold. You can see how we're spending so much stone on all these really high-tech improvements. Build me a garrison. The city needs a governor. We will continue to build a road on the way over to Echmara. It's a sort of short-term investment of orders for a long-term benefit in orders. We'll build the hamlet, because that will boost the adjacent Odeon. And we shall continue to make quarries because our ravenous devourment of stone is nigh unsustainable. We don't quite have the orders to move these military units as much as we would like, but we can kind of tentatively move forward a couple of steps in preparation for conflict. But you can see, because they have just been consistently developing bigger militaries. Oh, starts mission. Indulge in revelry. Oh, I could become insane. Let's indulge in that revelry. Let's do that. So the wildfire ended. We could gain food or game in Zula. Oh, yeah. I'll take another copy of game in here. Beautiful. That's awesome. So I'm going to move this spearman forward a tile. I'm going to poke you. That was a critical hit. I mean, that is just exactly what we're looking for. Now, you're a ranger, so you like being in trees. We can't get you into trees this turn. We can get you up here and get a big-ass poke in, though. This spearman, I'm going to send him to here, and I'm going to give him a general. As a 27-year-old general that counterattacks during melee, which is incredibly powerful ability. Yeah, some of our workers are a little bit left by the wayside, but we're in the middle of clearing a camp. You're always having to balance how many orders do you invest into your military? How many orders do you invest into your economy? Let's see here. We could improve our relationship with Syria. Ooh, sweet. Yeah, we can just make them like us more. I haven't seen any of these mountains tumble. I swear that's meant to be a thing. All right, let's step you up, stab this guy. You zip up here. Boop. I'm going to pull you back to this tile. I'll move a spearman up to this tile and give him a little poke. Then let's get this spearman moving, and we'll add a general to him as well. A couple of my cities aren't busy at the moment. You've completed an extra worker. Now, there is something to be said for getting the apprentice monks. Monks give a lot of culture. Culture is one of the big things that gives you victory conditions. It will also make Zoroastrianism like me more. And if we go all the way to an elder monk, you know, we're looking at extra civics based on our culture level. We're looking at tons of culture. We're looking at tons of science. So I do like the idea of going all the way to an elder monk, in particular because of the huge amount of culture that could represent. Then again, poets are also brilliant for that. If you go up to an elder poet, citizens, they start to scale like lots of culture, lots of science, all that stuff. We could also build our archives, we could build our treasuries, build our walls to sort of start pulling back that discontent. I also like the idea of building a miner here. That'll give us a little bit of a training boost as well as a culture, gold, and science boost. Like, you know, it's on a resource, it's a luxury, like that's maybe really good. We can also hurry it because the leader of the city is a judge, so we can just spend a little bit of money and a little bit of discontent, and then bam, you know, a specialist is up. In terms of Sabat, Sabat's governor is a scholar, so he can do inquiries, which give us boosts to science. Taking a look at Sabat, we would really like to get more growth in this city. And because that would get us more citizens. And right now the best way for us to get growth is to build farmer specialists, which will actually give us a trickle of science. The city does have a bit of a discontent problem. You could make the argument that we should build mining specialists. You could also make the argument that it's time for us to get this miner. You know, it's got training, it's got culture, it's got science, it's got gold. Like, that one, I think, is a very convincing argument. Boom, right, we'll take that one. But I also think the growth from these boosted farms has a lot of value, as it allows us to go to the next step in the city and get a lot of citizens. So I will grab myself a farmer. I'm not going to spend civics though. I've got a dumped DMT warrior. I'm going to tell him to sleep here until the next DMT warrior is. So by building this elder officer, we have actually managed to shave 3 turns off this DMT warrior. And if we were to do the same again and build even more apprentice officers and get him all the way up to being an elder officer, we would churn through the production of these. I do think we would really like to get the forum. We also want to get the mint. You know, this is a lot of stuff we need to build in our capital, but I do want to get these 2 DMT warriors because they are good for the ambition. Yeah, we're very hungry for civics as it currently stands. I want to repair this camp. So I'll spend a little bit of cash to repair that. And let's get the hamlet going. I'll cut some scrub. I think this is a pretty good place to wrap this up. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the tumbling hills thing. Like, is there a way for me to reveal the map or something? Can I, like, if I retire here? So you can kind of see how the map works, right? It splits it up into different domains and each player gets sort of a pizza slice. What happened to the, I don't actually know if the mountains started tumbling away. That might not have happened. But you can see here, actually, this is a really good way to see just how advanced the AI are. Each player got about, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cities, right, in their continent. And the map was divided up. And, you know, if you watch this GIF, you can kind of see the AI starts way more developed than you, but it's also not symmetric. Some of these guys didn't start with quite as much, and you know, it took me a long time to even get one city. But as you start to advance, you go, and you get through it pretty quick. Also, I really like this. If you watch the portraits, as time advances, you can see the different characters slowly aging. Like, look at the kid, he slowly ages, the gray comes. I think there's just something really satisfying about the systems that are in this game. I think it's really, really cool. I don't know what happened here. Oh yeah, 2 leaders died back to back. But yeah, I don't know. It's a really cool. I wish there was a way to reveal the fog of war. Hold on, let me look this up. Game editor. I would like to console full reveal map. Did that work? Uh-oh. Yeah, so I don't know if the tumbling mountains worked properly. Maybe it's not fully implemented into this build of the game. It's probably implemented in the build you're getting later today. By the time you see this video, the game should be out. But basically, I kind of like this map script. It's kind of neat, right? You got these tumbling mountains that fall away after a certain amount of time. It's kind of fun for multiplayer. Everyone gets like 60 turns to get themselves in shape. Oh yeah, look at that. I can build pathways through these mountains with hills now. So this is what's supposed to happen. Basically, after a certain amount of time, the sand mountains is supposed to fall, and you're left with these like strips of sand between the different land masses. I think. I just think the map script may be bugged out or something. But anyway, it's a really cool game. Old world, super awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay video. Sorry I don't have time to do a full playthrough. Civ 7, taking up all my goddamn time. Anyway, I love you all very much and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.